Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, everybody. Happy what? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Thanks for joining this morning. I appreciate it. To the 17 people here in the chat. Let me see if I can do a quick roll call. Let me see. Shout out to Reggie. Hey, Reggie. Hey, Slay. Hey, ebook. Good morning, Natasha. Trey is getting his energy drinks. Okay. Hey, Nikki. Good morning, y'all. I saw some others, but I think they disappeared when I came live. But anywho, good morning, y'all. Happy Tuesday, like I said. Thank y'all so much for joining. No, you did. I appreciate it so much. Thank y'all for supporting this hashtag content that matters. Okay, be sure to hit the like button on your way in. Good morning, Natasha girl. Be sure to hit the like button on your way in. Feel free to support the channel. And we're gonna get started because I think Trey's going. I got 2 hours. 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, which is all I need for these lives. So we're gonna get it started. Now today, y'all, we are doing part two. What happened to your show? We are doing part two, okay, of the Mr. Alec Murdoch jailhouse phone calls. There's three parts to this. We're gonna do part three tomorrow, but today we're gonna get into part two. Huh? It's glitching. What you mean it's glitching? Well, you got it? Okay. All right. So yeah, y'all. Let's get started. Let's get started. All right. Let me put this on do not disturb. Good morning, Candy Corn. Good morning. I am going to drop the link for anybody that wants to join the panel. If a mod will grab that link for me, I will appreciate it and drop it throughout the live. Uh, yeah. So let's get into it, y'all. This is part two of Mr. Alec Murdoch jailhouse phone calls. He hold on a minute, y'all. Hold on. I'm back, y'all. I'm sorry. That was a phone call. Okay, let's get into it. So on yesterday we listened to part one. I think on yesterday he talked to his son the most, which is Buster. He also talked to two of his brothers, and we also listened to a phone call where he talked to. Good morning, Miss Kay. Good morning, sweetheart. Talked to his sister-in-law, I think maybe once. But then we're gonna see who Mr. Allen gonna talk to today, child. Cause Mr. Alec is getting on my nerves, and child, this ain't even my situation. He ain't calling me, but he's just irritating. He's very irritating. Anyway, okay, so here we go, y'all. Here we go.
Hello, this is an MTEL operator calling from Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center with a prepaid collect call from Alex. To accept this prepaid collect call, press 1. All phone calls are subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using MTEL.
Get some rest, Candy Corn. I'm glad you're feeling better, sweetie.
I don't know if we will ever fully understand Alec's ongoing schemes to hide the truth. But as a matter of public interest, the legal system seems to have fallen on the side of transparency. And after officials released the jailhouse phone call recordings, we now have a much clearer understanding of the suspended attorneys and volunteer solicitors' relationships, plots, and life behind bars. My name is Mandy Matney. I have been investigating the Murdoch family for more than 3 years now. This is the Murdoch Murders Podcast with David Moses and Liz Farrell.
Thank you, Brooke.
So to start out, I have some really good news.
Slay, you better be resting
Last
too.
week, Richmond County officials told Fitz News and the Murdoch Murders podcast they decided to release Alec Murdoch's jailhouse phone calls. And that is a big deal. We would like to applaud Chris Ziegler, the Richland County Assistant Attorney, for doing the right thing. And we also want to thank our MMP supporters who are following us on social media and wrote to public officials and applied the right amount of pressure in this case. This decision shows the world that sunlight and transparency can ultimately prevail. And now, at least some SC officials want to be on the right side of history. So after waiting all weekend and convincing ourselves that we were fooled and the tapes were never coming, the U.S. Postal Service brought us a whole lot of sunshine in the form of 5 sparkling rewritable CDs. Remember those? Yes, Richland County government uses CD-ROMs delivered by mail, technology that was available when I was in elementary school, to fulfill their FOIA requests. But I will complain about that another day. Both the Fitz News and MMP teams have been working tirelessly, listening to hours and hours of phone calls between Alec and his family members. Just as we anticipated, the phone calls were full of newsworthy information, and we will play some of those clips here in a minute. We have maintained from the beginning that these tapes are important to holding Alec and the legal system accountable, and we believe it now more than ever because of the tricks Dick and Jim tried in keeping the tapes from being made public. Other podcasters...
Good morning, Trey. Okay, Slay, make sure you I'll be looking for it, Slay, so I can share it out, okay? Or you can DM me the link as soon as it drops, okay? Good morning, Trey. Good morning.
Hi there.
How's your day going, sir?
It's only like 45 minutes underway, but it's fine. It's great.
All right, so we're doing part 2 of the jailhouse phone call. The truth is late, of course. He's gonna owe me his whole paycheck. He's getting fined. But yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, did you hear him when he got off? He sounded like he was about to die. I'm tired, y'all. I got to get up.
Did you see what he just put in the chat?
What'd he say?
So you don't need your drawers to come to work on this job. We don't see you, sir. He said he come and he put on his drawers.
Damn.
So we're not concerned with your undergarments. All right, yeah, Troy. We're doing part 2 of the phone calls, the jailhouse rock phone calls. How's baby Petty?
She alright.
She alright. Okay.
She alright.
And critics on social media seem to think we were never getting the tapes and that we were out of line even asking for them in the first place. They even erroneously claimed that the lawsuit had the chance of making case law in federal court. And mainstream media remained silent as Dick and Jim used the federal court system to prevent us from hearing Alec's calls. It's going to be really interesting to see whether those podcasters and other media outlets also requested the tapes. While we believe in the public's right to access public information, this one hits a little differently for us. Because while Fitz News and the Murdaugh Murders podcast fought to get those tapes, the vast majority of South Carolina journalists covering this case did nothing. Not even a supportive tweet or even a behind the scenes, we're with you on this. And the South Carolina Press Association, who called themselves defenders of the Freedom of Information Act, did nothing. And that's shameful, in my opinion, and honestly shows how deep the corruption goes in this state. And for me, it confirmed what I had been suspecting. The SC Press Association is probably a part of the good old boy system too. I say all of this because I'm sure other podcasters and YouTubers and documentarians and other true crime hacks are going to play these tapes without acknowledging in the very least bit the work the Fitz News did to keep this case in the sunlight. And now the rest of those hacks will likely profit off of the hard work of others, which is unfortunately the sad state of media today. So before we get into the calls, I would like to kindly suggest that those listening to this podcast subscribe to fitznews.com and show your support for the media outlet in South Carolina fighting for the truth and transparency. So, the calls. To give you an idea of what we're working with here, we had 11 phone calls for the last episode that we did on the jailhouse tapes back in February. Those calls were chosen because they were either mentioned in the prosecution's memo for Alec's bond reconsideration hearing or they occurred on a date that held significance. After we received those calls several months ago, we filed an additional Freedom of Information Act for the rest of the calls between October and February. In total, we listened to more than 100 jailhouse phone calls in the last few days. We have also filed FOIAs for recent phone calls, but we anticipate it'll be a while before we receive those. As expected, the phone calls were dense, and it was really hard to get through one without stopping and saying, "What did he just say?" Not only were they difficult to hear, they were packed with information. And I'll be honest here, the calls were very emotional at times. For the first time in all of my reporting, I started to understand why Alec was loved and believed by so many around him. Human beings are complicated, and with Alec, it's hard to understand a man.
Wait a minute, because I'm not. That don't sound like the calls we listen to. Hold on, let me see something, y'all. Let me see something. Did I skip one? Cause okay, that's part 3. I don't know. Episode 11, the jailhouse. Oh, that's another. That's another. I'm just trying to make sure I ain't miss nothing, y'all, cause what she just described, I can hear no emotion. Let me make sure I ain't skip nothing. Mm,
Well, there was lack of emotion between him and Buster at times.
yeah, that's about it. I mean, I'm going in order. I'm at least trying to go in order, but okay. If I'm gonna have to look, I'm probably gonna listen when we get off of here, make sure I ain't missing nothing. But anyway, let's go.
We had 11 phone calls for the FOIAs for recent phone calls, but we anticipate it'll be a while before we receive those. As expected, the phone calls were dense, and it was really hard to get through one without stopping and saying, "What did he just say?" Not only were they difficult to hear, they were packed with information. And I'll be honest here, the calls were very emotional at times. For the first time in all of my reporting, I started to understand why Alec was loved and believed by so many around him. Human beings are complicated, and with Alec, it's hard to understand a man accused of such horrific crimes could also be this guy who appears to show genuine concern and love for his family members.
All right, man, I love you.
No, I love you.
I'm proud of you. I'm sorry you had to do all this stuff. You always say that. But anyway, I love you.
Love you too.
I'm very proud of you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
So for a few short moments, I was almost fooled myself. Could I be wrong about this guy? His family? But don't worry, that didn't last long. Alec Murdoch is still hustling.
Hey,
Hey,
how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm late. I know.
You be sounding guilty. You just,
I couldn't find my color coordinated underwear.
Oh God.
But I'm on the trail of these hoes. I am on the trail of these hoes.
What does that say? Let me look at your picture. On what?
On
What
the
the hell?
trail
Okay,
of
let me
these
do
hoes.
on the trail of these hoes. Hold on. It's too early. It's just too early. Let's see. My device is so slow, y'all. On the trail of these hoes. I like the picture though. I cannot. All right, so you know we on part 2 of the jailhouse phone calls. We just not getting started, so you didn't
Yeah,
miss
no,
anything.
I've been listening.
Okay. All right, here we go. Make sure you stop me if you need me to stop.
Good. Hey, Lizzie, what information do you have to put money on Candy?
I don't have to put any. I mean,
Hey,
I got the
lovely
website.
Cherokee. Okay, thank you.
So I can re-up it.
No. Here's what I'm really asking. You remember me telling you about the guy, Clarence, he's called a runaround. He's got it, dug all the stuff, and he's got to
Good
help
morning,
me
Miss
get
K.
books and all
Okay,
that.
have a good day at work.
Yeah, that's one I didn't answer.
That's right. And scurries around the wheelchair. I mean, he does so much for me. I'd like to give him a little Christmas present. The only thing I can give him is some money on his canteen, and I'm trying to figure out like what you would have to put a little bit of money on his account. What information you would have to have.
I would need to know like his number.
Okay, keep mine.
Okay, that 6-digit number.
Yeah, that 6-digit number, and then I would. Well, what is his full name?
Like first and last or full name?
Probably just first and last.
And his name is Clarence Hare, like H-A-R, but I'll get his number.
Let me, if you can hang on 1 second, I can go down to my computer and see if I can just type it in.
Got nothing but time.
He's still gambling.
What are you doing?
I just finished playing a little poker. I told you my canteen got screwed up this week, right?
Yeah, you did.
So I didn't play anything. So I've been having to play chess and cards and chunk and poker for canteen items. I'm about to stock back up.
He's still enjoying his jail snacks.
You know, the food's so bad, but Jim put some money on this canteen, so hopefully I ordered it today. They say hopefully it'll come Monday.
And what is
little food like Pop-Tarts and some potato chips and stuff that you eat. I mean, this food, you can't eat it in jail.
He still loves explaining canteens to his family members and those beef sticks.
All right, the canteen is you go to this kiosk. You know what a kiosk is, right? Yeah. It's like a little computer machine out. I know what a kiosk is. All right, so you go to the kiosk and you place your order. All right? And you can order any array of things like hygiene products, this, that, the other. Then they got, all these foods, potato chips, a bunch of varieties of potato chips, summer sausage, beef sticks, crackers, and you can order, but you can only order $60 worth. And you have to order by Wednesday, and the canteen delivers on Monday. So like on Monday, they bring you a big bag of whatever you ordered. So you got $60 per transaction, or like $60 a week, or a week? $60 a week.
He's still working out and talking about it a lot, like every phone call practically.
When you exercise, do you do it with a buddy or like that's in your pod, or you just do it by yourself?
You always kill me with your questions. Do I exercise with my buddy? No. I usually try to do it in my room. 2 hours. It takes me an hour to do those up, downs, or burpees, as you call them, and the mountain climbers. It takes me about an hour to do those 12 sets. And then I run in place, and do stuff with my arms for about 20.
He's still getting into some rather alarming mishaps.
What was the Alabama final?
What? Like 31-10?
That's what I thought, something like that. You don't believe what I did. I finished doing my exercises. I went to go get in the shower before the food comes. There's no officer here. And damn, I didn't lock myself out. I'm standing there with no clothes on. So I got in pie. I got stuff over my bottom, but you got no damn. So what y'all doing?
Okay, I have to repeat that. Alec Murdoch locked himself out of jail with no clothes on.
What?
And he
This
wanted
nigga
to
is
chit-chat
running
with
the jail. He running that shit. Yeah, you can't lock yourself out. He said there was no officer there, and he locked himself out his cell. How the fuck he get out his cell?
Well, of course he getting special treatment. That's why I don't even understand why he having to get them to put money on another dude's books. I don't know. It's weird.
So he was standing outside his cell wearing his towel. So so a lot of times they won't change. They don't change in the shower area. They go back to their cell and change. So he's in a minimum security prison. This is one where you could walk around. You're loose. You can go in and out of your cell. But he closed the door. And then if you close the door, he closed the
The truth, you
door.
ain't closing them heavy ass cell doors. They automated. They
No,
on a little sliding thing.
no, not these. These are doors. In the minimum security or in the lockup or whatever I don't think he's in a prison right now. I think he's in a detention center, and they have doors, and they're heavy, but they have doors. So when you leave, you close your door so nobody can go in your cell and steal anything. They don't have roommates in there. This is just one
They ain't had
person.
jail work at
Yeah,
all, G. This
yeah.
nigga can't just walk in and out of his
Well,
cell like that. They no damn
they can
halfway
walk around
house.
because in prison you only take showers when you're supposed to. So here he can take a shower when he wants to. So that's telling me he's in a detention center, not a prison. And they're in single cells. They don't have two people. They have one person in each cell. But he closed the door, and you need an officer to open it back up when you come back. But you want to close it so people don't steal your stuff, like your goodies and all your food.
Yeah, because we could tell he's real big on his shit. You know, like his damn.
So he was thinking that an officer was going to be there to open the door for him, but he's locked himself out, and there's no officer. That tells me he's not in prison too, because there's never, ever not an officer on the ground in a prison. In an open, if this is the open area, because the cells are all over, then there's an open area in the center, and there's always guards, at least 2 on the floor and 2 above in a prison. So I think this is the detention center. And the only reason a guard wouldn't be on the floor is he's going to get another prisoner and bring him back.
And his dumb ass locked himself out with what do you say he had on a towel?
Just a towel. He was going back to his cell to get dressed.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm glad you explained the thing about them probably being one in a cell. Because I'm like, why you want to leave out the bathroom to go get dressed in front of another dude? But
the bathroom is an open area too. That's why a lot of them won't get dressed in there. They take their shower, put the towel on, and leave.
Gotcha.
And head on back. Nobody. They just have towels, and they'll give you the minor stuff. He said you got to buy stuff. No, you're buying the better stuff, like toothpaste.
Yeah.
You're buying the better toothpaste. They're giving you.
He used to the finer things in life. He got the.
Yeah, you get the generic shit given to you, but if you want to buy a better toothpaste, you got to buy it from the commissary.
Good morning, Nicole. Thanks for joining, sweetie. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. All right, here we go. He just to me, he just I digress.
About the Alabama score before telling him about his predicament. And we will be right back. Okay, so all jokes aside, Alec Murdoch is still up to the same head-scratching schemes, and we will get back to this one in another episode.
Do a 3-way and get Jim on the phone. Why? I want to see if I'm crazy or that's what he told us.
And he's also still manipulating his family.
All right, can you call John? I got 2 minutes and I'm not going to better make another call. I need $28 on the canteen because it's Thanksgiving. The deadline is 10 o'clock in the morning. So,
damn, he's serious about that. He is serious about that canteen
because that's how he's running shit.
That's how he's making his money too.
He can't.
He's
play
making
games.
his money.
He can't play. He can't bet with people unless he has something to bet. So if he eats all his shit, he ain't got nothing to bet, and he can't play against people. That's another thing to tell them they're in the detention center because they, in prison, you can get away with it, but he's gambling like all day long.
Damn.
So that tells me
he ain't supposed to be making no damn 3-way calls.
Well, no, you're not supposed to, but
Man, that's an unwritten rule. Every nigga in jail make three-way calls. That's all they do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because then they don't have to pay for 2 calls. Because remember, they're prepaid calls now.
Yeah.
So he's got to have money on his card in order to pay to
Mm.
make phone calls.
All right, here we go, y'all.
Order it tonight because I'm not gonna get out in the morning.
Okay. I'll
$28, and tell them that my status changed, but they haven't implemented it yet, so I haven't had any time. Tell John that I'll be calling him tomorrow. I'll be calling you tomorrow. I'm sending you a letter. Where do you want me to send it? To John's house?
John's house.
All right, and do me a favor. I usually text Randy and Lynn on the weekend. Will you text them and tell them I haven't been able to use the phone, and I'll give them a call when I can?
Yeah.
All right, so text Randy and Lynn. John Marvin, $28 is the most important thing. That needs to be done right now.
Damn.
And I'll call you in the morning.
All right. So what am I texting?
Poor Buster.
Just tell them I normally call them on the weekends, but I haven't been able to call them. Just tell them I haven't been able to call.
Poe busted my ass.
For a second, and I'll give them.
Poor Buster. He running that
Poe
boy
busted
back.
my ass. Boy, Buster is a suspect in a murder himself. He running the family business. He the last done.
He running that boy crazy, Trey. He running that boy. Listen now, he frantic. My goodness.
Oh, when I can.
Okay.
And John Marvin put $28 on my John Marvin and Lynn, they both know how to do it on my canteen account.
Okay.
And I love you. Tell Brooklyn, hey, I love her, and I'll call you tomorrow.
Uh-huh.
He wants something for 28. It costs $28. He's very persistent on that $28. So something in that cantina costs $28.
A whole bunch of stuff in there. The honey buns, the Twixes, all that stuff.
Not the
Hey,
tweet.
he's specific on $28. He could say put another 60 on there, right?
Well,
Well,
maybe
he might
got
already have
some on
40
there.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he got some on there and the 28 gonna make the 60.
Yeah,
Because he insists that he need to keep 60 on there.
Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah.
better than Goodfellas.
Not really. Not really.
Well,
He getting on people's nerves.
you can't make phone calls during lockdowns. So they lock the place down if somebody gets in a fight. So if somebody fights in the area in the cell area, they lock it down. So they must be getting somebody must be getting they must be getting in a lot of fights.
Shout out to Kimaj. Kimaj said, for I love these shows, investigation ID. Thank you, Kimaj. I do too, girl. I love crime and justice. Thank you for supporting the channel. I appreciate you, girl.
I thought of some more comebacks to the stuff you said last night too. So we're gonna start off the show being toxic. Yeah, I thought of some more comebacks. Yeah, some more comebacks of you talking about trust, like the conversation you'll have with a young person and stuff. You know my brain crazy. I got you.
Yeah, you pretty fucked up. Okay, you good, yeah. Hey, Michelle.
Start tomorrow should have a lot more time. Like, remember I told you Thursday I was?
Yep.
But it hasn't come into fruition yet, but it should tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, I love you.
All right, love you too.
Bye.
That doesn't
Even
sound
aside from the double homicide and the mysterious,
that didn't sound too sincere from Buster.
It doesn't ever sound sincere from Buster.
Yeah. Love you too.
Yeah, Buster is, either he's very nonchalant or he don't give a damn. I mean, you guys remember that the mom and the brother has passed, and I believe Buster know that his daddy did it. Good morning, Fran. I believe he know he did it.
And the daddy know that Buster had something to do with Steven.
Well, yeah. I hope they find out who did that to that young man. I really do. I've been looking for updates and stuff, y'all, but I haven't seen anything. Yeah.
his death surrounding
And Miss Gloria. Shoot.
family, Alec is accused of some very ruthless behavior. And you think about all of the victims who have been pulled into Alec's mess and who have never been the same. You think of people like the Beach family and everything Alec has put them through in refusing to admit fault in his son's boat crash and not settling in the lawsuit. Then you hear one of the very first phone calls Alec placed while in jail, and you remember why this guy is where he is. We don't have the very first phone call Alec made from jail because Richland County held back a number of calls citing various FOIA exemptions. But we do have the second call, and it was rather unsettling. You know how you know something, but then you find out you didn't really know because you didn't hear it for yourself? We knew Alec was accused of going on a liquidation spree and turning his assets into cash to allegedly keep his money away
I
from
know
the
that's
Beach
right,
family
fun.
and other victims and other potential creditors. We also know that he has been accused of prioritizing creditors like friends and family and Palmetto State Bank. But hearing someone accuse Alec of doing this and then hearing Alec do it are two different things. Let's set the scene for you. Sometime after Alec was photographed at a Buc-ee's somewhere near Orlando, he was arrested October 14th, 2021, and then extradited to South Carolina. On October 19th, he was denied bond, much to his surprise, and he was awaiting the results of a psychiatric evaluation for the judge to reconsider his decision. Alec's second call from jail was made 2 days after this. He's still in quarantine for COVID, and according to a form we received in March from a FOIA we sent to the jail, Alec was in protective custody because the jail was concerned for his safety. But also, Alec had signed an affidavit asking for them to drop protective custody, and he did this right away, even before the hearing. Now, John Marvin, Alec's younger brother, is with his family in Sedona, Arizona. John Marvin is married to a woman named Liz, and on this trip, they've brought 3 kids and a Buster. You guys remember the Las Vegas photo of Buster and John Marvin gambling? That was taken just before this. Okay, so again, this is his second call from jail. To us, it seems like, kind of a pretty big deal that he's a Murdoch and now he's calling from jail as if he's at a hotel and nothing's out of the ordinary. But he's just like, hey, what's happening? Also, he wastes absolutely no time in getting to the point. Oh, and the point is to quickly liquidate his assets and keep them away from the victims and potential creditors who aren't his friends, family, or Palmetto State Bank.
Wow.
Hey, man, how you doing? I hope I'm not calling you too early out there. No, we've been up for a while. We just got breakfast. And what time is it out there now? It's almost 9. Okay. 10-4. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? How's Buster? He's good.
Thank you, Miss Gloria. He's a old fool. Yes, he is. Thank you, Miss Gloria, for supporting the channel. I appreciate you, sweetheart.
He's doing well. He's out there. Hey, John. Yep. In court the other day, they made a big deal about things. They're going to be moving to try to prevent us from selling stuff. Right. We need to get as much as we can completed. And on that note, did Mark Ball ever respond to you? He did not.
He's trying to get rid of stuff. Stop it, Keyshawn. He's trying to get rid of stuff, so them people won't get in there. Ain't that some?
But that's not illegal.
I'm not saying it's illegal. Is he more? Is he?
The podcast lady seems a bit upset. That's what rich people do.
Yeah, it's
that's
not
how they
illegal.
had their shit.
It's not illegal until they freeze the assets.
Yeah, once they freeze the assets, it's illegal. But
he can't do anything. That's why he's trying to get rid of as much stuff as and he's trying to.
Because he knows it's coming.
Yeah, he's trying to get people to claim.
Yeah, they talked about it in his court hearing. I'm pretty sure they brought it up ASAP.
But he's also getting people to claim stuff. Remember, he mentioned yesterday. Make sure you go in there and get that Milwaukee tools out of it. Milwaukee.
Get the tractor.
Cheap as shit.
All this shit.
So I don't know why he got Milwaukee tools, but he's trying to get people to claim stuff so they can't. Once they freeze it, they can liquidate it.
Well, he might have like $20,000-$30,000 worth of tools. So because remember, he got people on his property that fix up and maintain shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably why he said get that out because he could get a good haul, some quick cash for it.
He ain't shit. He ain't shit.
He's make sure he's mentioned it on the call so they can hear it. Oh, make sure Billy Joe comes and gets that tractor he lent me,
Not Billy Joe.
and then Timmy Tom's got to come by and pick up that rake he lent me
He
too.
got them people running racket chain. He done called the husband wife and everything. I'm not the husband wife, the brother wife, and he got people just all over the damn place. He worrisome. Sorry, worrisome.
I'll follow up with that this morning.
Well, I just know they're getting ready. And I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a day or a week or, 2 weeks. And, I mean, they would theoretically have to serve me or Buster, but
Right,
Right.
Florida.
that service.
Well, let me ask you a question, Alex. So I'll follow up with Randy and Mark on that. But the dump truck and excavator,
Yeah.
do you have an issue if I buy them and put the money towards it?
No issue at all.
This seems super generous, right? And maybe it even makes sense because John Marvin owns a heavy equipment rental and sales center. But by buying the equipment, John Marvin is expediting the situation while keeping the assets in the family. Time is of the essence here because Mark Tinsley and the court are closing in. Now remember,
Hey,
Ellis and John
Charlene.
Marvin are very aware they're being recorded.
Thank you for
Or
joining,
rather,
Bill.
they're intermittently aware. And I say that because there's no other explanation for how they go in and out of saying something that would be dumb to say on the record, while also saying things that sound like they're playing to the audience. I also want to know, Alec and Randolph took out a $600,000 line of credit from Palmetto State Bank. In September, a month before this phone call, the bank put a claim in against Randolph's estate. These guys were selling Alec's assets to pay back that debt, so there would be no claim against the estate, which these guys will be inheriting anyway.
I mean, that'll be the easiest way to do a sale.
I mean, if you need them, don't do it just to help me.
Well, I'll I haven't communicated with anybody since I left, but when I left, I didn't have any buyers on those two.
Like I said, don't do that. I mean, if you want, I'll give them to you.
No, not gonna do that. But okay, well, I know what to do, and I'll be working.
I'm serious. If you need them, John Marvin.
No, I don't need them. I just.
Or if you have a use for them, I promise you.
He just gets on my nerve, cause he always trying to tell people what to do. I thought it was just with Buster, his son, but maybe I just don't like him. Oh God.
Well, but I'm not gonna do that. So either way, I'm gonna follow up and see if I've got any real leads on them.
And you might speak to Jim if you get a chance, just to find out what kind of time frame he thinks before they get any kind of order preventing us from doing anything.
Okay.
And I mean,
well, I'm just doing everything by the book, and
it's going on bank. It ain't like we're squirreling it away. It's going to pay bank stuff.
Well, it goes to the unsecured note, so everything else has something securing it. So it makes sense that unsecured items would go to an unsecured note.
So basically, what these guys were doing, according to this call, this is exactly why Mark Tinsley filed a motion to freeze his assets and why he wanted to have a receivership appointed. What's annoying is this. Think about all the drama that has surrounded this receivership, about how Alec's attorneys, John Tiller and then Dick and Jim, argued that it would set a dangerous precedent, how they tried to get it dismissed, how John Marvin did 2 interviews allegedly trying to set the record straight on the whole thing. He actually lamented to one newspaper that he was nothing but transparent in this apparent scheme to pay back the bank to keep creditors away from the family's trust. Clearly, Mark Tinsley's idea for a receivership was a smart one. It definitely rattled them. Also sending shockwaves through the Murdoch clan, Mr. Eric Bland. We'll be right back.
If you remember, by October of last year, Eric Bland had emerged as a central player of the Murdoch's opposing team. Nearly every day in October, Eric Bland was making headlines in the press for his direct and fiery quotes about Alec Murdoch. Like, there's no bottom to him, and he is a liar and a cheat. In fact, Eric played an important role of applying pressure to SLED to arrest Alec Murdaugh for the Gloria Satterfield case. To everyone's surprise, that arrest is what landed Alec behind bars for the foreseeable future. In a call on October 23rd, Buster expressed concern over the upcoming receivership hearing, something Eric was very vocal about as he was advocating for all of the victims in this case, not just his clients.
Yeah, man, doing good. Just, the new developments with the motions and everything, trying to get us to quit selling stuff. I don't know really what that's going to what has in store.
Yeah, I told y'all that was coming.
Yeah, man, this Eric dude.
I said that was coming?
No, I just saw it on Twitter.
No, I called Jim Marvin the other day to tell him he needed to do it as quickly as possible because they were going to be doing it any day, making a motion.
So this Eric Bland guy seems like a real charm.
Well, this is his 5 minutes in the sun,
Yeah.
I can't believe John didn't tell you that I said that the other day. Whatever day I called, when I went to court that afternoon when I called on Wednesday, I don't know if there's anything to be done, but told him we need to get in touch with Mark Ball, get that fund, get it on that thing. I didn't know how quickly it was going to be done. I said it could be any day now. It could be 3 days. It could be a week, but it was coming.
Well, it's done now, so no reason to fretting over it.
No, he's filed a motion. He doesn't have an order yet.
No, I know. I understand. It's not ruled upon.
So, and I would think they got to serve me to do it.
Well, they should have to serve one of us if they're going to stop me from doing something.
Well, they can only serve you if you accept service. They can't serve you. I guess they can serve you individually to keep you from doing anything as power of attorney. But that don't keep John Marvin from selling the shit,
Yeah, true.
They got titles, especially.
The plan to sell off assets and move money quickly appears to have involved Alec's former law partner, Mark Ball, in some way. Though, according to the calls, Ball had not been returning the family's phone calls during the conversation on October 23rd. Mark Ball's name should sound familiar.
Mm-hmm.
He was allegedly involved in the old jellyfish gambit. He was also Alec's colleague at PMPED. His name also came up in the first round of calls that we played in the last episode on the phone calls. It sounded like Mark Ball was cutting a very important check for Alec Murdaugh just days after a receivership was in place. Whatever Ball was doing, Alec wanted it done fast.
But I just told John, they're going to move to try to stop us from selling stuff. We need to get that. If Mark and them are going to do that, they need to do it. We need to get that on that note ASAP and get that money on that note ASAP. I don't know if it's going to be a day or a week or 2 weeks, but they're going to move to stop us from selling assets.
Anyway, during this call, Alec says something worth noting about John Marvin to his son.
John Marvin's too scared to do anything that's teetering. I said John Marvin's too afraid to do anything that's teetering. You know what I mean?
Did he follow up with Mark Law?
No, we've reached out to Mark, but he won't get back in touch with us. Been that way for 2 weeks.
Mark said, Mark said, y'all in too deep. I ain't going. He ain't even trying to phone call. I don't blame him. It's too much.
I said, we've been reaching out to Mark.
Am I the only one taking notes? I'm taking notes on this. Is free legal advice on how to move assets and stuff.
Yeah, I guess, but
I'm just saying, I'm taking notes.
I guess, but I'm just thinking about the fact that, he's doing it because, but the thing about it, listen, Trey, this man, he got some money somewhere. He got to have some money somewhere. He's just doing this so he won't have to pay them folks, and that's not right. I don't know. They say he's doing it to pay off a bank loan. I don't know.
He's doing it to keep something in his family to pass down to his family. That's what he's doing.
I get it, but it's still not right though. He got to pay the folks.
If they seize his assets, they're going to get what they get. Meaning, they just put it out there, and they may get less than what he would get negotiating a price.
I
So
get that.
he'd rather turn it into cash. And then again, the reason he took out the $600,000 loan is because he has to pay that debt, and that's his debt. So that means $600,000 can't be touched of his. That's why he keeps paying that debt. That $600,000 is somewhere.
Exactly.
Don't know where it is.
Along with other monies.
Yeah, but it's somewhere. So they have to pay that debt before the debtors, because he becomes one of the debtors. The bank becomes one of the debtors, and they need to be paid. They took that 600,000 and put it somewhere. So he wants to sell as much as he can to get the best price that he can, or he just wants to give it to somebody, knowing that they'll give it back to him
when he get it. Well, at that time he thought he probably gonna get out, but
he thought eventually he would get out and he could get his stuff back.
Yeah, because for those that don't know, right here, why he's locked up, he's not locked up for the 2 murders. He's only locked up for the money stuff. So he thinks he's gonna eventually get out.
But hadn't he already been fired from the? Hadn't he already been?
Oh yeah,
fired
he was
from the law firm.
Yeah, he was pretty much done.
He had been fired, and the family still fucking with him like that. Yeah, he got pulled.
Yeah.
Remember, they're hoping that he doesn't turn on them, so they're going to do everything in their power to keep him happy, or because
they want him to take the file for. I don't know if they want him to take the file for everything, Trey. They don't want.
They told him. The call we heard yesterday, they were like, "Look, you need to fess up, and
you might as well.
We're getting blamed for everything. We're getting blamed for all of the things that you did. So you need to fall on the sword and say we had nothing to do with it." But
and that's probably why they're helping him do all this scrimmage.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll do it, but y'all got to help. You got to make sure
exactly
them have something.
Yep, that's exactly what he's doing. Now, remember, he hasn't been charged with murder yet, so he still thinks he could get out on a bond. Because he still has not gone to the bond hearing yet. So he's in there with no bond. He's thinking he will get out on a bond, and then I'll be able to take care of this myself. But it might be too late. I think in the back of his mind, he knows that they're going to charge him with those murders.
For real?
I think that fool thought he got away. The way he was moving, he didn't think he was gonna get away, or he thought he was gonna get away because he had enough pull with the police and shit to have it just go away.
But in the back of his mind, he thinks that eventually his name has to come up. Nothing he did work so far. So eventually, I think he's thinking, I want to get out now so I can take care of all these things before they charge me with the murders.
He delusional to me.
She's been that way for 2 weeks. Doesn't respond. Doesn't respond to our emails or our calls.
What did Randy want? Do anything with it?
No, I think Randy's trying to help. I don't think he'll talk to Randy either.
Eric Bland also came up during one of Alec's many phone calls with his sister-in-law, Liz, who was John Marvin's wife. Alec talks to Liz Murdoch a lot. He has a close relationship with his sister-in-law. We mentioned Liz Murdoch in the last Jailhouse phone call episode when Alec was trying to get her to put money on his buddy's canteen, which is against the rules, by the way. So by November, Alec Murdoch had been publicly accused of a lot of horrible things. He was accused of stealing millions of dollars from clients, including his dead housekeeper's family and an injured state trooper. He was also charged in those crimes. And there was a paper trail of evidence supporting those charges. I say this because at this point, Liz Murdoch should have known that her brother-in-law has some serious issues and has done some inexcusable things. Yet on the phone, especially during this conversation Thanksgiving week, she appears to support him 100%. And she doesn't even seem to mind when Alec asks her to do things for him.
I got to get emails. Will you do me a favor?
Yeah?
Will you send me a letter with everybody's email address? Really yours and Buster's and John Marvin's can send it to me first, but rather than having to do another one, just send me everybody's email. And there's a machine that we can have video calls without having to come here to do a video call.
Okay.
I've got to figure out how to work the machine and how to pay for it and all that.
Okay, so what emails do you want me to send? I got a pencil handy. Now, in November, attorneys Dick Harpootlian and Jim Griffin were busy fighting for Alec Murdaugh, both in the civil and criminal court. But Eric Bland was a big problem for them at nearly every turn. Remember, Dick and Jim filed a motion to dismiss the Satterfield lawsuit because basically other people paid for his thievery. In response, Bland called Alec despicable and a coward all over the media. Dick and Jim were also filing paperwork in an attempt to get Alec out of jail, which Bland called a desperate act by a desperate man. It was very clear that Bland was a huge problem for Team Murdaugh in November. And Dick and Jim made a shocking move then to not only silence Eric Bland, but they filed a complaint with the bar to go after his law license.
What?
Which is lower than low. Anyways, this November 23rd call from Liz Murdaugh shows just how loyal the family is to Alec. I'm excited about that gag order.
Actually, if they were able to... If they were able to file a complaint with the bar association, that means he did something wrong. Like as a attorney, he's not supposed to be out there calling people low lives and horrible and cowards. But he's going above his job. He seems really, really biased, and putting that out in the media can taint any potential jury pool.
I mean, I get that. Miss Gloria, I pray you feel better, sweetie. Everybody coming down with something, y'all. This is weather. I believe it's something in the air.
You got me sick.
It's the change in seasons, plus the seasons don't even know what they want to do. It's 71 days and 32 the next.
I ain't get you sick.
I got boogers. You left boogers.
Well, I ain't had no boogers.
On the table.
Well, you got them boogers from somewhere else.
They're your boogers.
Child. Well, I guess so. I guess if he was like... that man mad with that Eric Bland ain't playing with him. That's Gloria Satterfield's boy's lawyer. Yeah. He can't stand him.
They're trying to discredit him.
Yeah.
See, that's how new lawyers always fuck up. They be too excited when they get their big case, and then they make rookie mistakes, which is why they were able to file a complaint.
No, I don't think he's new though, Trey.
He might be new to dealing with high-profile cases. This is a high-profile case. This is the dude that run the town their family been in power for hundreds of years, and now he's saying it's like, "Ooh, if I bring them down, this will do such and such for me." He worried about his career.
Yeah. Well, what they trying to do is get a gag order. So let's see if they got it. They're trying to get a gag order on him.
You got that?
No, it's already online, but it's already online.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
All right.
But it made me happy.
Well, I mean, they tell me he's been running his mouth.
Yeah, just ruthlessly.
Huh?
Ruthlessly. It's kind of like venom, like he's a snake. Spitting out venom every other word. Alec and Liz Murdaugh talk a lot. We'll get into more about their relationship in another episode.
Yeah, you're going to have to, because I'm trying to see why he is talking to his brother's wife so much. Yeah, I believe there's something going on. Let's listen.
Up to her about
the brother at work.
He just really doesn't talk about
Cause the brother at work, she's at home to answer the
Ain't no
phone.
brother at work. No, no, no,
He
no.
is. He at work and he probably
Yeah,
told him,
he
look,
is
when
talking
Alex
to his.
called, take care of that.
He having phone calls with this man wife that the brother don't even know about. This is
Oh.
weird.
Oh, well, he might have smashed her
in
first.
Oh gosh.
detail with his other family members. Like, for instance, his little roadside shooting incident.
Okay, this is something else I've been wondering. He said that you went blind.
Say again?
When you got shot, he said that you went blind. I don't know for how long.
Oh yeah, I mean, I couldn't see for, I don't know, I guess a minute, minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes, a minute.
That's
I mean,
not
do you feel
blind,
like you
sir.
were near death?
That's not a minute and a half is not blind. It just means you couldn't see.
Temporary.
Yeah,
Temporary blindness.
I was blind. I was blind. They shot me in the head. I was blind. You can close your eyes for a minute and a half, you dumbass. Oh, yeah, I was blind. Yeah, minute and a half. Shut up.
Oh goodness.
That you were seeing the light?
No.
Sometimes it's hard to remember that there are a handful of people out there who actually believe that Alec got injured in a failed suicide for hire plot. We can't say Liz Murdoch isn't devoted to her cause, but she's gone a little too far imagining any scenario.
Mm.
Did she say, did you see the light?
Yeah, she asked him, did he see the light?
Like you were near death light?
Yeah, that light.
Yeah, because I mean, he got shot in the head. Technically,
It was a grazing wound.
but still, you
grazing
don't know.
wound.
But she's asking questions because of what she's heard. She's saying they said you was blind. You got hit in the head. Did your light flash before your eyes?
Did you see the light? Were you almost dead? Is there an afterlife? He was blind for a minute and a half. He didn't see the light. He wasn't damn near dead. Dude just grazed his ear above the ear.
It's the dramatics for me, but I digress. It's really this man. He really irks my spirit. I ain't gonna lie.
In which Alec Murdoch hits his head and angels start playing their welcoming harps. You and I both know Heaven went into DEFCON 1 shutdown mode the second he got a little woozy from the quote, entrance and exit wounds.
Now remember, Alec's attorneys claimed in the media that his injuries were much more serious than originally reported, and they said he was lucky to be alive. But Alec describes it differently.
No, it wasn't that bad. It just, I guess it was the impact. I mean, I wasn't seeing light. I was seeing dark. You know, I mean, the first thing I thought was,
You have 1 minute remaining.
and then I'm like, I know I'm not dead because, I remember touching my head. I remember thinking the back of my head's blown off and I'm going to be blind.
Oh,
and
God.
Then, it slowly started coming back. I could stand up because it knocked me down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I could stand up. I knew I was standing up. And, then I think I kind of went to one knee. And, I couldn't see, and I was trying to. But it didn't take long at all before it started improving.
He claims he initially thought his injury was a lot worse than it actually was.
I couldn't see. I mean, now for a second I thought to myself, am I dead? It didn't take me long to realize I wasn't dead.
If you thought to yourself, am I dead?
It was dark. I might have been in hell. I don't know. It was dark. I might have been in hell. Yeah, he didn't see the light. Yeah. He would have been in hell if anything.
So you dead, and you thinking to yourself, "Am I dead?
Yeah. Am I dead? Did it work?
Did it work?"
And he's saying to himself, "You dumbass! I told you not to kill me. What the fuck is wrong with you?"
The Truth, I'm blaming you for that lady attacking Truth. It's all your fault. We did not know this crazy lady till we met you. Now
So,
she doing a whole
Damn.
community post with free promo. I mean, it's free promo though, but yeah, it's your fault.
sometimes there's collateral damage.
I said,
Damn.
I said, is she making community posts now? Lord Jesus.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
But I have
I'm
gotten
glad
some.
nobody watches her. I
I
mean,
have gotten
it's
intel. You will be amazed at some of the people that are after me. And like, listen, I don't know these people. I I just
Big
don't.
truth, you need 49 subs, G. Last check, you were at 951. We're gonna
I
try to
need
get you there today.
47.
Okay, we're gonna try to get you there today. That's the goal.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Have a
Yeah.
1,000 party.
For anybody that's in here that's not sub to the mayor, y'all, Bruce is dropping the link. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and subscribe. You
The
won't regret it.
She really gonna be mad then.
Oh yeah, because she claimed she was gonna get to 5,000 before I got to 1,000, and she only needs 400 more subs to get to 1,000, and she gets about maybe 2 subs a week.
Oh gosh.
So maybe 3 years from now she'll
I
hit
don't
five
understand
subs.
why people have to make this shit such a competition. Just do what you do. Pay attention to your own stuff. It's ridiculous. You will drive yourself crazy trying to worry about. I don't understand it. These people are weird. I'm sorry.
That occurred and it's, oh my God, I'm really gonna be messed up. I'm gonna be blind,
Oh
you know.
Lord.
And then it started quickly coming back. But I could reach back and feel my head, and I knew my head wasn't missing, you know.
Oh my God! Not your head one missing.
If your head, but that's the longest minute. But you only
If
had a
your
minute
head
left.
was missing, you wouldn't even be able
Yeah,
to do all that.
trust me. If there was a hole in the back of your head, you wouldn't be reaching for it. You wouldn't be looking for it. You wouldn't be feeling it. You'd be gone. Ask your son. Go ahead, Alex.
Oh
Ask your
my
son what happens when the
God!
back of your head is gone.
This whole phone conversation is really giving me hives. And she's sitting here entertaining this bullshit. But you know, I can't expect too much from her because she asked him, did he see the light? I'm just,
I thought I missed that. I was like, did she just
no!
ask him? Did he see the light? I'm like, it wasn't that serious. Trust me, it wasn't that serious. He knew. He told the dude where to shoot him.
He did. Absolutely.
Bleeding, but I could tell like it wasn't like a big section of my head blown off.
Alex then describes what sounds like an extremely miraculous bullet to head trajectory.
It never hit my brain. You know that, right?
Um,
So here's
well, actually, I guess I thought that it did hit your brain because
no, listen here. All right, so you know how fast a bullet comes out of a gun, right?
yeah.
All right, so it hit my head. It goes into my skin and puts a hole in.
Are you literally sitting here telling this woman how to bullet? You know what? I cannot do this no more. I give it up. And I ain't really having this conversation.
Well, first off, if it had entered your brain, you would be dead.
Oh Jesus.
Maybe 1% of people that get shot in the head and it enters the brain actually live. 1%.
Lord have mercy. This is weird.
Kind of goes around my skull and comes out an inch and a half, 2 inches further away. So it had an entry and an exit wound, but it didn't penetrate my skull. It cracked it a little bit, and the
He's
force
lying.
caused me to have
He is lying.
two brain bleeds. But all a brain bleed is a bruise on the brain.
A brain bleed is a bruise on the brain.
He's not wrong. It is.
I thought a brain bleed was a hemorrhage or aneurysm, like something.
It causes the brain, and it could be anything. A hemorrhage is in like a what do they call it? The aneurysm is inside the brain. What he's talking about is his brain was bleeding on the outside. So
Because
the
it was
blood was
bruised on the
yeah,
outside.
yeah, the
Okay.
blood was
Okay.
it was the impact hit the skull, causing his brain to smack up against his skull, which caused a bruise, so it bled. So he had bleeding inside his skull.
But why though? Why this conversation? Why are we having this conversation? Why didn't they have this conversation when this shit happened? Cause he's locked up now. I mean, they ain't asked him about this when the shit happened. You know what? Okay, these people are weak.
Maybe she honestly thought he saw the light, and she was just asking him about the light. Did Jesus come down? Was Jesus' hand reached out to you? Did you see Jesus? That's next. Because he said, no,
No,
I didn't see any light. Because her next question was, did you see Jesus?
no, he ain't gonna see Jesus.
Was
He is not
Jesus
gonna see.
there? No, no,
No,
Jesus. No, he'll see Jesus because Jesus is going to tell you, turn your ass around. The elevator down is over there.
this man done too. Well, actually, he can repent for everything he's done. He can repent now.
Yeah,
So,
as long as you confess your sins before you
Don't
die.
think it's anything
yeah.
permanent. Don't feel dumber, hindered, or anything like that. But no, this was
He
like,
doesn't
okay, things
feel
feel dark,
dumber.
and I see the light. And I'm,
You know what?
He said, I
It's
don't.
just
He said, I don't feel dumber.
I cannot believe this man is an attorney. I'm sorry, y'all. I have been listening to this man talk on these phone conversations, and I just don't believe he's a lawyer.
I'm with Sweet Berry. I think he took a bunch of pills before he got shot. He ain't feel a goddamn thing. Nothing. He probably didn't even feel it. Did he just shoot me? Oh,
All the shots and alcohol and
yeah,
everything else,
yeah.
because he knew what was gonna happen.
60 pills. He shouldn't feel a damn thing.
Yeah, that's what he's supposed to be on 60 pills a day. Mm.
going to the light. It went dark, and I couldn't see shit. And then it started lightening up, and I could see things around me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, no, but
I think it was just the impact from the force of the bullet that knocked me down, and probably, I don't know, I guess sight is somewhere back there that it interrupted it for a little while. Yeah. Well, I tell you all the details when I see you.
That's another thing about these calls that we realized. Alec believed he was getting out of jail. He kept saying, I don't want to get my hopes up. But at the same time, he kept saying things like, when I get out of here. A lot of times followed up with phrases like, I'll tell you about the things I can't say over the phone. And just so his lawyers know, because they tried to argue the opposite, Alec was very much aware that he was being recorded.
The reason that he thought he was going home is because that's white collar crimes go unpunished like that all the time. He'd be on house arrest and shit like that. Like right now, he's just accused of stealing money. That
Yeah.
happens all the time, and he's powerful, so he's that's normal to think. Oh, I'm going home. Like
Yeah.
I might be here a year, but
Yeah,
I'm
he
going home.
absolutely believe he gonna get out
Yeah.
and go home.
He
Yeah.
thought it was unconstitutional for the judge to give him a no bond. So he
Hmm.
thought they were going to take it to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court was going to say, "Hey, you got to give that man a bond, and it has to be reasonable for the crime."
Listening to this though, this man would be an interesting interview. He definitely would love to talk because ain't nobody studying him. If somebody asked him for an interview, he would be crazy. He would go crazy.
He
He
shouldn't
would
though,
be
because I'm pretty
interesting.
sure he's filing an appeal.
He still claims he's
Still,
innocent.
Yeah, he say he innocent. He ain't finna
Yeah,
he
he still
even
says
if
there was.
even if he did an interview just to say that, he'd take interviews.
Oh yeah, he loves to talk.
he loves to
That
talk
was
and he
that.
loves
Yeah,
attention.
yeah,
With
he
his
loves to
crazy
talk.
self. He's crazy.
I mean, come on,
Recorded and
he's
his phone.
entertaining. Go to the light, but yeah.
But he sounds so dumb.
Well, maybe he did lose some brain. You know.
It sounds like
Well,
maybe he did suffer some damage. I'm just say that.
you realize that's the main component of being a lawyer is being able to talk, being able to convince the people. So he was in the right profession. And that's why everybody likes him too. And that's what the woman was saying. She was like,
Nah,
"Dang, he
don't people.
almost
I
swayed
don't
me."
think people liked him like that. I think they was scared of him. I think they was
But
intimidated by him. Maybe the
but
family, yeah,
this
but
lady
other.
on that's doing the podcast said she was almost swayed. Like, dang, this man really loved his family. She almost got.
She said for a hot minute, for a second, cause she can't
And that's
stand him.
and guess what? If you own a jury, that's all it takes. If he the last one to speak with closing arguments, it don't take them but their hot seconds. You go into the jury room, you vote his way.
Child.
You'd be surprised how many jurors get crushes on the defendant.
Oh no, no, no. Yeah.
You
Hey,
would be
Miss Carolyn, just wondering. Welcome
look it
to the
up.
chat.
Look it up. There's actual stories and interviews where jurors actually, started flirting with the
I've
defendant.
seen it several times on a couple of crime shows. Yeah.
I'm adjust the time back as needed until you finish
No,
reading.
no, no. Don't adjust it because this is almost over. This one actually got less than 2 minutes left. And then we're going to start on part three just because I want to finish part three tomorrow and not have to go over because part three, this was only like 35 minutes, but part three is an hour. So I'm going to finish this one and then I'm going to use the last like 25 minutes to start part three.
So,
So, no, you don't
so
have to
you
move.
sh- so are you sure? Because like these 2 minutes could take us 20 minutes because we talk a lot.
Yeah, it could.
Well, that's what makes it interesting. Cause listening to him, I just be want to just hit my head up against the wall. He's dumb. I'm sorry. He said, I felt to see if my head was blown. If your head was blown off, you weren't gonna be
Yeah,
feeling for your head to be blown off, sir. Okay.
Like, did
yeah.
he have in the plan to be grazed? And I wouldn't unless
I
dude was a
believe that.
sniper.
No, I
Unless
believe
dude was
that.
a sniper, I wouldn't have trusted him to
He
graze me. So
he
much
was.
could
And
have
you
went
got to
wrong.
remember though, that man said he never shot him.
Yeah, they're thinking that he shot himself.
Yeah, he shot. That man said he
Yeah.
said
With
okay.
what, a BB
So
gun?
No,
no, I don't know what type of gun, but
I think it was a 22.
the man said Alec called him and told him he had a flat tire. And
Hmm.
when he got to where he was, Alec told the man to shoot him. Great, or whatever. And he said he didn't do it. He said he left. Alec
He said
shot
he could.
himself.
He couldn't do it.
He said he couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's why he. That's why where the bullet was, and I believe it was a 22 because it actually ricocheted off the skull.
Mm-hmm.
It never entered the skull. It ricocheted off the skull, and that's why they're saying that he did it to himself.
Mm-hmm.
Because the guy said, I couldn't, I couldn't do it, even though he
He's
asked me
still
to, I
saying that
couldn't
man
do it.
shot him. But that
Yep.
man said he did not shoot him.
Hmm.
Calls were being listened to.
I mean, every one of these phone calls is recorded, and you know that they're listening to them.
Yeah. Well, I think they were recorded. I didn't know if they really care to listen to.
I promise
Talk
you,
about.
promise you, they're listening to mine.
As you can see, there is so much more to unpack in these calls, and that's what we're going to keep doing. So much reporting has gone into this story, and the phone calls are yet another layer of this unfolding saga. There are a lot of connections to make and a lot of questions to ask, and that's what we will continue doing. There's a lot going on with things like Buster getting back into law school, and we will talk about everything that was said and not said about Maggie and Paul. We have a lot more calls to share with you. Stay tuned.
All right, so that's the end of that one, y'all. Let me see.
Now, remember, he was making, I think it was one or two phone calls a day,
Mm-hmm.
7 days a week
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. So there is a ton of phone calls, but they only last 15
But if
minutes.
they all like this, man, whoever was listening to these calls, I bet you they was like, I know I wouldn't. They're weird. Okay, so we're gonna start part three, y'all, for these last what like 25 minutes, and yeah, so we can be able to finish this, so we can get into the trial coverage. I'm ready to listen to the court stuff. All right, so let me. Here we go.
And into the University of South Carolina School of Law.
Hold on, I didn't go all the way to. Keyshawn, what is that? T-Rex. Oh, okay.
Hello, this is an MTEL operator calling from Alvin S. Glenn Detention Center with a prepaid collect call from Alex. To accept this prepaid collect call, press 1. All phone calls are subject to monitoring and recording. Thank you for using MTEL.
I don't know if the Murdochs did anything illegal when it comes to Buster Murdoch's readmission into the University of South Carolina School of Law. However, a series of jailhouse phone calls reveal some questionable dealings between the Murdoch family and their good old boy connections at the public university. And the public deserves to know what is going on here. My name is Mandy Matney. I have been investigating the Murdoch family for more than 3 years now. This is the 50th episode of the Murdoch Murders podcast with David Moses and Liz Farrell.
You wanted to say something, Trey?
This journalist is she irks me a little bit.
Why?
She's like, I don't know if there was anything illegal done, but why say that? Is he not eligible to just apply for the admissions into the law school at South Carolina?
No, because they're buying his way back into that school.
Yeah, he was expelled.
See, you missed it yesterday. Yeah,
I remember being expelled. I remember being expelled from the other place. But does that mean he can never go back to law school, or he just can't go back to that school? People get expelled from different schools.
He was going back to the same school.
The same school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they was paying his way back in.
Remember, they paid $60,000 to get him in there in the first place.
Okay, see, I thought he was at I thought he got expelled from like a school in another state.
No, he was South Carolina.
But he was trying to get back into the science school. Hey, it's around. Back into the same school.
We'd have to know the school's policy on what happens if you get expelled. Is there like a year period that you have to wait?
No, I have no idea. But I do know if he was doing it the right way, they wouldn't have had to pay for him to get back in now.
Well, money talks. It just helps grease the wheel.
Mm-hmm.
They're called boosters.
Yeah. I know all about the boosters. Yeah, boosters pretty much.
Or in politician, they call it lobbyists. They just lobby to help you think their way.
Yeah. Because these folks here in the South Bay, especially the University of Alabama.
And now that I'm thinking about it, maybe they had to take a vote.
Them folks
oh hell yeah, Alabama, they ain't bigger than Texas, but they boosters are good. They're able to give freshman quarterbacks $1 million endorsement deals and shit. They definitely got the money. But maybe like the people at that school had to like make a vote on if he was able to come back, and they lobbied to be like, yeah, we got to vote. Happens. I don't like the fact that she be throwing a lot of shit out there like that.
Okay. Yeah, because she don't like them. She don't like them people.
It says if you've been expelled from college, the process of being readmitted will depend on the policy and procedure of a particular institute.
That's what I was just saying.
Some colleges may specifically process for readmission of expelled students, while others may not allow for readmission at all. If readmission is possible, it is likely to be a complex and difficult process. If you would likely need to determine that you have addressed the issues that led to your expulsion and that you are capable of succeeding academically and adhering to the Institute's policies and standards. So,
and that 60,000 may have gotten it to just expedite the hearing.
Yeah, they paid in.
And you got to think about it. How many people in their family are alumni at this school?
Yeah, because I wouldn't be surprised. Like,
Well,
I don't know.
he didn't get expelled. He got expelled for cheating. So he would have. I mean, the money would pay, and they'd be like, "Okay, you seem remorseful, and you said you won't do it again. Okay, we'll let you in."
Well, no, that wouldn't work because remember, this when he got expelled, he had been caught several times before. That wasn't his first time.
No, he actually. I think it was two other times before that
Uh huh.
that he
Yeah,
got.
that's why he got expelled because he was a habitual cheater.
Mhm. They gave him. They
He
caught
thought he
him. They
could get
gave him a
away with
break.
shit.
He
That's how
did
they
it
all
again.
think. They
They
can do
put him
whatever
on
they want.
probation, and then they expelled him.
Mm-hmm. They feel like they can do whatever they want. It is what it is.
So let's start out with some positive news. Today marks the 1 year anniversary of the Murdoch Murders podcast and also our 50th episode. I just have to say that I'm so proud of our whole team for making it here. I know I've said this before, but when David and Liz finally convinced me to go for it and start a podcast, I went into it thinking at best we would make it to 10 episodes. A year ago, I started this podcast with a very simple mission: to be a voice for the victims, to get the story straight, and to expose the truth wherever it leads. A lot of people don't know this. As I was debating whether or not to start a podcast about the Murdoch murders last June, I remember one particular moment. I was watching a YouTube video of some national talking head discussing the case, and I was furious just how wrong she was about so many things. It was very clear to me in that moment that national media was getting this story so wrong from the get-go. TV talking heads were spewing off nonsense theories about how the murders could have something to do with the Beach family or the boat crash victims, which I knew was so absurd. At that point, Liz and I had more than 2 years of research on the Murdoch family stored up. And as these false narratives kept appearing in the national media, I knew we needed to take our reporting of this very complicated saga and make it much easier for people to understand. Unlike the legacy news outlets, we knew the story was about systemic corruption that needed to be exposed for the masses. So a year ago today, we released a very rough first episode called South Carolina's Chappaquiddick. We had no idea what we were doing, and it sounds like it. But you know what? I'm so glad that it sounds imperfect. And I love the fact that as more and more people discover the podcast, they can hear our progress through every week. You, the listener, can hear me grow and change as a person and as a reporter too. You can hear the exhaustion in my voice in those first few months as news was breaking at every turn. You can hear the sadness in my voice as we encountered so many evil forces while doing our investigation. And you can hear Luna barking in the background sometimes. And you know what? I think all of those imperfections made our podcast something really special, because in just 9 episodes, we climbed the charts to #1 on Apple and Amazon podcasts. And we were able to hire my best friend and former coworker, Liz Farrell, a move that was absolutely essential for the growth of our show. And now here we are, more than 30 million downloads later on episode 50. I say all of this because if I could do this, you can too. Large media companies want journalists to believe that they need corporate support to survive. This podcast is a testament of how well independent journalism can work. And there is absolutely a future for this type of investigative reporting. That anyone who is willing to do the legwork can start a podcast from their kitchen table that will be heard by millions around the world. So thank you to all the MMP fans out there. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for believing in our mission. And thank you for sticking with us week after week. We obviously don't know what will happen to this case or what's next for us, but at the end of the day, we are proud of what we built in the last year. So thank you. So, for episode 50, we're going back to the tapes. In the last episode, because we got the tapes less than 2 days before our deadline to publish, we didn't have the opportunity to do a deep dive into some of the bigger themes that we noticed while listening to more than 100 conversations between Murdoch and his family members. In the first round of tapes that we reported on back in February, we talked about how Alec and Buster had a lot of interesting conversations about his possible readmission into law school. Remember, the Wall Street Journal reported last year that Buster was asked to leave the University of South Carolina Law School in 2019 following a cheating scandal. USC Law is what people around here call it, but it's not to be confused with the other USC on the West Coast that also happened to have a major cheating scandal involving privileged students. Anyways, we couldn't figure out what happened with Buster's law school status just from the first round of phone calls that we got. As a reminder, what we gathered was it seemed like Alec had paid well-known political attorney Butch Powers $60,000 to do something in connection with Buster's readmittance into law school, but there was a lot of things that just weren't clear here.
Now that we've listened to more than 100 calls and done background research about the players at USC School of Law who were allegedly involved, we seem to have a clearer idea of what was going on. So first, let's talk about Buster. We've said this before, but we have complicated thoughts about him, especially as it relates to these calls and choosing what to publish and what to hold back. The calls we're sharing with you today are important to the story. The ones we are choosing not to publish are personal and would not serve a news purpose. It's really hard not to have empathy for Buster after seeing his relationship with his father. Alec clearly loves Buster and wants the best for him. He's also clearly aware of the pressure he's putting on him and the stress his life choices have caused Buster. But he's also incredibly clueless in terms of reading the room. His love for his son comes off as bossy and nagging and badgering and presumptuous. He doesn't really ask Buster all that much about what Buster wants. Instead, he seeks reassurance that everything is okay at all times. These calls have given us insight into how Buster appears to be handling this tremendously strange and utterly awful situation that has been forced upon him. At no point in listening to these calls has it been lost on us how much Buster is going through. This doesn't excuse the alleged plagiarism, of course, but it's really easy to see how Buster is a casualty of this system that, had the boat crash not occurred in 2019, likely would have benefited him in the same way it benefited his father, grandfather, great-grandfather, and great-great-grandfather. What we mean by this is that South Carolina is already an unusual place in that it hasn't yet fully advanced past the old way of existing, which is to say that it is always about who your family is. It's always about patronage, always. And nowhere is this more evident than at the University of South Carolina School of Law, where the tight-knit, incestuous inner circle is generally not accessible to those who are from somewhere else or those who had to work hard for everything they have. You might have noticed that Eric Bland is not from here. Mike Hemlep is not from here. Justin Bamberg is the son of 2 law enforcement officers. And Mark Tinsley, if you were to do a little research on him, you'd find out that his secret to success has been that he studied hard and works hard. These are just some of the lawyers who have been sticking their necks out and going against the grain in this case. This is important context, though. To some people, the root of this evil when it comes to attorneys like Alec Murdoch, and when it comes to that inner circle of attorneys in this state, either starts with or is made worse by the university and the law school's politics. To give you a little taste of this, we wanted to introduce you to Dr. Eddie Floyd, who is the longest-serving member of the university's powerful and very controversial and very insular and very ethically challenged, in some cases, board of trustees. So Dr. Floyd is 87 years old. He's been in a bunch of trouble with the legislature.
He looks like he's 102. I hate I can't show visuals. Just saying.
His role in the hiring of a really controversial university
You can. You just got to screenshot him. You just got to screenshot him.
Oh, yeah. That would be helpful, and I could do that if I would watch this stuff before I react. But
No, do it
no,
now. You can just it'll just be like 4
ain't
minutes
nobody
later
got
when you
time for
show
all
it.
that. Ain't nobody got
See,
time.
true. See, you just you take the screenshot and then you push play and then you upload it while the stuff still playing. You won't miss a beat.
All right, Trey. Bye.
To in this episode, but highly recommend you Google. We also recommend you Google Dr. Addie Floyd and Adolf Hitler painting and watch the video that was done by the state newspaper. Anyway, in March of this year, Dr. Floyd was one of several unopposed board members seeking re-election for another 4 years. During that hearing, State Senator Dick Harpootlian, yes, that Dick Harpootlian, grilled Floyd on his role as a board member. Now see, Floyd and others are notorious for interfering in the daily operations of the school and putting department heads in precarious situations by insinuating their opinion on them or hinting at the need for favors. So here, Floyd is explaining to Dick how that works.
I mean, do you talk to Ray Tanner from time to time?
Yes,
You call him or he calls you?
half and half, probably.
Now, he is a department head, right?
Right?
You call the head of the chemistry department?
I would, if I thought it was necessary.
What would make calling the head of the chemistry department necessary?
Well, okay. Let me give you a good example.
I want one.
We've got a really good lawyer in Florence, and his daddy was a K with me at the university. He called me and said, my son has been turned down in law school. This has been years ago. And this guy, some guy smart as hell, he'd been president of Boys Nation, all kind of credentials. And I called the dean of the law school.
William Hubbard?
Nope,
Prior to William?
much prior to William.
Okay.
And I got a call back from the dean in about 2 weeks. And he said, Dr. Floyd, I really made a big mistake.
Wait a minute.
He later,
Okay, so we need to pause here and talk about Kappa Alpha Fraternity, or KA for short, because it comes up a lot when we talk about the good old boy power circles of South Carolina. Alec Murdoch was a KA. Our current governor, Henry McMaster, was a KA. The fraternity's, quote, spiritual founder was Robert E. Lee. And it has deep roots in racism and ties to the KKK.
Oh Lord, not the Robert of the Lee of ooh. Y'all know we got Robert E. Lee High School here. They took his statue down from outside of their school, child. It's a whole thing with this dude.
Hey, anyways, by Floyd saying his daddy was a KA to the South Carolina Senate, he's signaling to the good old boys he's one of us.
Oh,
So, of course, he pulled strings to get him into law school. Also, notice Dr. Floyd doesn't mention anything about the student's LSAT scores or GPA. Floyd clearly values the KA legacy more than that. Otherwise, he wouldn't have mentioned it. Anyways, Harpootlian, and I know Harpootlian, of all people, reacted in the same way most of us did to Floyd's example. What?
And so, and this was a personal friend of yours,
yes,
and you called the dean of the law school to help his son out. You do that a lot.
to find that.
Hey,
Well,
serious?
I feel like if
Stop,
you elect
Sean.
me to the board of trustees, I'm a representative for the University of South Carolina for the 16th Judicial Circuit. And I feel like if anybody has a complaint or want me to help their kids in the way, I feel like it's my responsibility to help them the best I
And
can.
even if they objected we couldn't get in, you use your influence to get them in,
I would if I thought they were qualified to do it.
even though their SAT scores and rankings in their high school class didn't qualify them. If you felt that they should get in, correct?
Well, I found out, first thing is you got to check to find out what they tell you is the truth.
Well,
And if the parents call you, majority of the time, it's not exactly what the facts are. But I've got a secretary that I hire full time that does university things.
So it does what now? University what?
I mean,
Oh yeah, okay. But I guess what I'm saying is you get a call from somebody, you know the family, good family, comes from good background, kid got turned down by USC Law School or undergraduate school, you do what you can to get him in.
I do what, yes.
Yes, okay, that's all. Thank you.
And there's your taste of how things seem to work at the University of South Carolina. Which brings us to one more person you need to know about, and that's William Hubbard. Fitz News founding editor Will Folks once described Hubbard this way. He's a guy so corrupt, South Carolina lawmakers have previously had to draft legislation in an effort to contain his unethical, self-serving behavior. So Hubbard became president of the law school in August of 2020. Less than 3 months after that, he was already in the news because he had accidentally emailed the entire law school the confidential scores from that year's bar exam results, including the names of those who flunked it. Major snafu. Now, from what we've been told, Randolph Murdoch III tried to get Buster readmitted into the law school, but the interim dean of the school was like, no, which is frankly surprising.
And we'll be right back. We have had former University of South Carolina law students reach out to us and tell us that Buster's punishment was lighter than anyone else would have likely have gotten, all because of his connections. Buster was asked to leave the school, but apparently with the understanding that he could return at some point. Like we have said, the boat crash complicated things because it came with a huge spotlight on the Murdoch family, who they are, and what they allegedly get away with. According to the jailhouse calls, Buster was readmitted to the school, and from October through the end of December, he and Alex were trying to figure out a way to get the terms of his readmittance adjusted more to their liking. We're going to give you the whole story here because it'll be easier to follow along. But here is what you need to know before we start the calls. As a part of Buster's agreement to return to the law school in the spring of 2022, there were 4 or 5 contingencies. One of them was that he had to retain the GPA that he had when he was ejected from the school in 2019. Another is that he can never run for office with the student bar. And another is that he has to meet with an advisor every week to get help with his homework.
Oh, God, he needs a tutor? Are they requiring him to get a tutor? I'm just asking.
To GPA requirement. Buster wants to start fresh in the fall. He's especially concerned because if he can't work at PMPED, which obviously he can't because that's not a thing anymore, he's going to have to get a high GPA. That is literally something that he says and he considers. Anyway, Alec pushes Buster to get with Butch Bowers and asks Butch to talk with the dean and get him to amend the agreement for the readmittance. Here is one of the first calls Alec made from the Richland County Detention Center soon after he got arrested in October 2021.
Are you doing okay?
Yep.
Have you reached out to the law school?
I haven't.
Will you think about doing that?
I'm gonna do it. It's just, I got a lot of stuff going on.
I know. I just don't want you to wait till it's not as effective if you wait till right up till, a couple of weeks before school starts.
No, I mean, my goal, at the very least, my goal is to do it in November. Probably earlier rather than later. I just, I got to get some time where
I understand. I think that'd be a good plan.
While it's not exactly clear what Butch Bowers did for $60,000, in this November 16th, 2021 call with John Marvin, Alec tells us how he regards Butch, which is as a political operative. This is obviously a clue into why Alec might have hired him to handle Buster's readmittance.
So, well, this is a strange topic, but I've mentioned to you before. There will be some people that want to pay for books or interviews and things of that nature. Do you know of an attorney that, like a media style attorney, somebody that get to handle it in the proper manner so that it's not exploited by anybody? Or
I have no idea. Absolutely.
How about that guy Butch?
I don't know. I think Butch could probably help you find the right person.
I don't want to reach out to the normal guys that I talk to, but is he somebody that would be the trusted answer for he'd ask. I just don't know, John Marvin. I don't think that's what he does. He's more of a political operative is what he really is.
On November 18th, 2021, Alec gets a little tense with Buster.
Hey, Buster, did you reschedule with law school?
Nah, I needed to reach back out. And
Okay, so how many people think Buster don't want to go back? Damn it, man.
Buster knows he's stupid.
Well, hell, he ain't no more stupider than his daddy.
I'm suspecting his daddy paid for his law license too.
I'm suspecting that.
And the bar. And passing the bar.
Buster does not want to go back to law school. Why he keep pressuring this man?
The truth, I'm not gonna let you do Alec like that. If he did pay out, if he bought his degree, he learned the tricks of the trade because he became a successful attorney.
No.
He became a swindler.
No. At the very beginning of this coverage, if you was paying attention, Trey, that man was a lawyer in that law firm, but they said that he was the worst one there. He was basically still there because it was his pawpaw and his pawpaw and his pawpaw law firm. Okay. He was shit as a lawyer.
Well, damn! I thought they said he was like winning cases and stuff.
He was shit as a lawyer.
He's not the only lawyer. See, he would have another lawyer with him. That lawyer would do all the things. He would just talk. He can talk.
Yeah, because I remember them saying he was successful at suing like insurance companies and shit like that.
No, that law firm was not him.
Yeah,
the law firm was a good law firm, and you got to know it was a huge law firm. It was the biggest one in that town or city or whatever that is.
Well, yeah, the family bought him the ability to be a lawyer. I can agree.
Exactly.
So
he wouldn't have even been a lawyer.
Lawyers. He had associate lawyers that weren't. They're in the firm, but they're associate lawyers. They would do all the work. He would just be the lead attorney.
Yes.
As long as he had them, I think he was okay. But I don't think. But again, he knew the back roads and how to maneuver things. That's what he got good at. He got good at hiding things. He got good at making back doors so he could do things.
Yeah, and learning loopholes on insurance policies and shit. He still learned the tricks of the trade.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but he wasn't. We're not gonna sit up here and act like he was a fantabulous lawyer, because I guess he was in his own right, but not as a legal. He just
shit. I thought he was, but he wasn't a criminal attorney either.
He was a criminal that was a lawyer. He just whatever.
Well, I mean, you could teach a kid.
Well,
with Down
technically,
syndrome.
all lawyers are criminals.
Well, yeah, but you could teach a kid with Down syndrome how to fold a shirt, and eventually he's going to get good at it. Because that's all he does.
He got good at what he did. That was paying people off.
Yep.
You know, he had the gift of manipulation. He was a manipulator and all of that. He was.
Because how are you a lawyer and don't know about habeas corpus?
Exactly. We gotta go, y'all. We're gonna get off of here, y'all. We're gonna finish this tomorrow.
Ma'am, I told you could keep going if you need to. You said it's an hour. How much you can play?
19 minutes.
It's on you. It's on you, ma'am. It's on you.
Oh, you getting on my nerves. You just get on my brain sometimes. You just Okay, let's listen to a little bit more. Let's just because it's getting interesting. Just shut up, Trey.
Well, I'm going up there to talk to him at some point.
We'll try to do it sooner rather than later, okay?
All right.
5 hours later, Alec calls Buster to clarify the situation.
I still ain't. Did y'all answer me in the chat? How many people think that Buster don't want to be a lawyer? Am I the only one that feels that way? Y'all let me know.
His earlier attitude.
He making good money at that company right now. He like, fuck school.
And the thing about it is, if being a lawyer was actually something he wanted to do, his daddy wouldn't have to keep pushing him and keep worrying the hell out of him. Hell, I'm getting irritated with him.
He don't want to go. He don't want to go back because he knows he can't go work at the law firm because the law firm is no longer there.
Right.
That's where he was getting his money. Just I guess sitting in a chair looking out the window.
Facts.
But again, the college told him.
Thank you, McKay.
Yeah.
Thank you, serious. All right, thank y'all.
The college told him he had to keep a certain GPA. Buster knew damn well he couldn't.
Hell no, because he kept the one he had by cheating.
Yes, by cheating. Now he can't cheat anymore.
Well, hell, they was giving him a tutor, the tutor every week, helping him.
That's what the deal was with. I think Buster is not as smart. He's not smart.
Put his picture on the screen. He is like one step from Down syndrome.
Damn it, the true.
Yeah, his head is shaped rather abnormal.
It's a weird shape, just like his daddy got a weird shaped head too. They are one step away from Down syndrome. They're functioning.
I'm not gonna say that, but I will say they're not the sharpest knives in the drawer. And I'm not understanding how they was even how he can even come close to practicing law. This is ridiculous. And the only reason I think he was able to do it is because his paw, and his paw on the damn firm.
Well,
I'm not gonna be able to work nowhere else.
I'm saying what everybody's thinking.
He still had to pass the bar exam, though. He still had to pass it.
He paid for that.
Oh, really? Y'all gonna do that?
Yeah.
Some Asian guy said he was him and went in there and passed the bar for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he paid somebody to look the other way.
He cheated just like Buster got caught cheating here.
Yeah. Some Asian guy named Buster went in there and took the test for him.
I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it. Can't tell me this man dumb as dirt.
Buster, I just thought about it, and I don't even think I was being short with you today. I mean, I'm basically saying I'm asking you to make that appointment at law school, or I just don't want to bug you if you don't want to do it, is all I was trying to say.
No, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I'm going to do it. It just hasn't worked out. Probably with the holiday coming up, probably.
But truth right there.
In the book, I'm
telling you. But see, Dad is also giving him the chance right there to say, I don't want to go back. He said, I don't want to bug you if you don't want to do it. If you don't want to do it, say so. Because I'm about to spend a whole bunch of money to get you back in this shit.
Buster knows exactly what that tone means.
He does.
You know, Buster, I don't want you to do it if you don't want to.
He does know that.
And that still was a dad. I don't want to do it. What can he do? He in jail.
But he knew damn well that wasn't going to float.
It was.
I'm taking it as he could have manned up right then. He gave him the opportunity.
Yeah, but you could tell in Alex's voice that it kind of said,
Alex knows
really
his son.
Disappointed, son. I've been really disappointed, son.
I'd be disappointed.
Take this opportunity.
I can agree with that. It's also still that he knows his son. He kind of feeling he don't want to do it. That's why he's saying if
because he every time he called, he said something about what he's supposed to be doing to get back in, and he's not doing it.
Yep, it's an excuse. So he realized that's why he like, bro, just tell me. If you don't want to go, let me know so I can stop planning all this shit.
Child. But that man, I believe, even with him being locked up, Buster was still scared to tell him he didn't want to go. He still was intimidated by him. For real.
Again, him saying, look, Dad, I really don't want to do this, would end up being a 2-hour conversation. Or the next 5 phone calls will be about, what do you mean you don't want to do it? What's going on, son? What's wrong? Why don't you want to do it? You're a Murdoch. Murdochs are lawyers. Why do you think he kept saying, you think he wanted to praise that girl for passing the bar? Hell no. He did that to throw it in Buster's face.
Yeah.
She passed the bar. What are you doing?
I agree.
They're not married.
Right.
Buster and her were not married, but yet he took the phone call to say, "Hey, I'm really proud of you that you passed the bar." That was a slap in
Now when
Buster's
my
face.
dumb ass son gonna do it?
Yeah, you dumbass. She did it, and she don't look that smart either. You can do it too.
Teach you why? Why? All right, y'all. We're gonna go a few more minutes, y'all. This getting good.
Okay, but I might not be able to get sat down with her prior to that. Well, and I understand that, but just remember it's important, even if you don't set the meeting until the week after Thanksgiving, get back in touch with them. Don't wait. Right. Do you follow what I'm saying? Yeah, I do. Because I really am telling you, I think it's important that you have that meeting sooner rather than later. Okay. And I mean, you were in good shape in November. I think you're still in good shape, but I think you want to have it. If you don't have time the beginning of next week because of Thanksgiving, you want to get it set that first week of December. Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
On November 30th, Alec tells Buster that this is it. He has one chance at this law school thing now. Obviously, Alec is aware that his political capital in the state is draining. Mm-hmm. He is spending his very last Murdoch money on this. Mm-hmm. We are not sure of the significance of this call in terms of what might have changed for Buster. Did he not have the go-ahead to re-enroll before and now he has it? At no point before this call did Buster or Alec mention the conditions. But after this call, it's something they talk about regularly. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Buster, you need to get ready for this law school now, okay? I understand. I mean, you got to really buckle down and you've got to treat it like a job. You're going to have to read these cases 2 and 3 times if you don't fully understand them. I mean, you're going to have to treat it like a job.
Wow.
I understand. Promise. Yes. Because you know there's not going to be another chance. I know.
Wow.
I mean, no way, shape, or form is there going to be another chance.
Listen at him, y'all.
You do truly understand that?
I mean, why did he keep... Ooh,
because he's letting him know the gravity of the situation. Like, you fucked up. We finna get you back in. Like, if you ain't gonna take this shit serious, like, bro, come on now. We doing everything we can. Not gonna take it serious. Let us know.
Was he disbarred already?
Yeah.
Well, technically, I think she said that he had been fired already.
Well, he had been fired, but I don't think he was disbarred yet because he hadn't been convicted. They can't disbar you until you're convicted.
Well, can't you be disbarred for just doing unethical shit?
Yeah, because what's the guy got disbarred? The other guy, he got disbarred. He wasn't
convicted of anything.
He was convicted already.
You just have to do unethical conduct. That's why those guys complained to the bar to try to get dude punished for doing unethical shit.
Well, I think you're presumed innocent. So he was accused of these crimes, and that's why he was in jail. He was accused of the crime.
I'm gonna need you to research that. You're the official researcher. I'm gonna need you to research the parameters for disbarment. Do you have to be? I don't think you have to be charged with the crime. You could just do some shit that you know is that you signed when you took your oath. If you do some shit that you know was against the oath, like violating attorney-client privileges, it's not against the law, but it's against the moral oath.
Yes, those things could get you disbarred. But if you're accused of something, they can't disbar you until you're found guilty of them.
But
remember, anyone could be accused.
Well, he could be disbarred with just because the shit that he did with John Marvin, or not the other guy, his friend that he had take the case. That's unethical conduct. He have to be charged for him to be disbarred for that.
He could get fired for that, or he could get disbarred for that. But I don't know if any of those things had happened yet, because he's saying that Fleming got fired, but he didn't say Fleming got disbarred. He might have been fired. Oh,
yes, he did.
So he said he got disbarred?
Yeah, he got disbarred. Mm-hmm.
Well, because of what he did. They knew he did it, and they knew that he sent the money.
Unethical conduct.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just the presumption of unethical can get you disbarred. But I don't know if because Alex is saying you got to do it now, and I believe he's saying it because before he gets disbarred, because that's a stain on Buster. Wasn't your father disbarred for?
That shouldn't be a stain. It might be, but it shouldn't be. I don't think that's fair because
But
I don't
if it,
think he should. Yeah, I don't think that's
well,
right though.
will that guy do the favor for him if he's already been disbarred and everything?
Yes.
His career is done. He's over. You
Hmm.
get disbarred, you're done. You got to go
Pretty
to
much.
McDonald's.
Well,
You start flipping burgers. Your
Yeah,
ass ain't a lawyer no
or you
more.
have to have a son who's a lawyer who you could pass down that wealth of knowledge to instill by proxy practice.
mm.
Well, yeah, you could be paid a consultant fee.
Well, not even just a consulting fee, but he can teach his son all the tricks of the trade he's learned. He can
He
help
don't
him
need to
prep
teach
for
his son
cases and
shit.
stuff.
Cause he ain't do nothing right, Trey. He was
Yeah,
crooked.
yeah, and the problem is that once Buster
All
passes,
lawyers are crooked.
yeah, once Buster passes that bar, they're gonna watch his ass.
I
They
think
gonna
so.
watch him.
I really do. I think as a lawyer, Buster going we
Yeah,
Buster going to jail. Cause Buster did something to Steve and he taking his ass to jail.
yeah,
But let's
but
just say, if Buster was to become a lawyer in that time in that state or whatever, I think he would be closely
oh
watched,
yeah,
like
but
very.
that's the reason why all the lawyers that were in the firm dissolved the firm and
Mm-hmm.
took each one of them to get their own LLC.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there's
And I
They
no
was
more
also
trying to.
think
connection. Go ahead.
I think he also would like his son to help him defend him.
Yes, for free.
Child. Okay. Listen.
All right.
This next call from December 1st,
Uh-oh.
2021 is one of our favorites because of Alec's advice on how to write a nice note to the dean. We definitely feel Buster's pain in this call. You might remember it from episode 33, our first episode about the jailhouse calls. We're replaying part of it now so you can see where it fits in to the timeline of the mission to get Buster back into school.
And if I don't hear from him, I might get in touch with Butch to see if you can call him and say that I've been trying to get in touch with him.
All right.
Is Butch paid all the money that he was owed?
Yes. Up
Okay.
front, and it was up front, and it was 30 grand up front, 30.
I know with the contingency on if it was successful. I'm just making sure I don't want to call him if he's not have the shit he has is straight there.
Nah, he knows he's totally paid.
I mean, would he be willing to do something like that, you think?
Absolutely. But I would do it yourself first. I just say, hey, just following up, the holiday.
No, I will. I mean, if you got answers by the back end of this week and we get into the middle of next week, then something will be done for me to reach.
That's what I'm saying. When do classes start?
January the 5th.
5th? Yeah, that's why. You need to send it tomorrow. And if you haven't heard from him by Friday, and I'd say something real nice, just like, hey, just following up on my email. I know this is a busy time of year, but was hoping we could meet soon, just like that.
Remember that phone call?
Yep,
We do.
I remember.
The next day, Buster updates Alec on his conversation with Butch. Notice Buster brings up terms when it comes to his law school readmission status.
I was just seeing, was that him?
No, it wasn't, but I ended up getting in touch with him anyway.
Okay, what'd he say?
He said that he didn't tell you that the terms were going to be changed.
That's just not true. Me and Jim were on the phone. So what's he saying if you start in the fall?
Well, I started thinking about it, and he said that he didn't specifically say the terms would be changed, but then I thought about it more, and I was like, well, if I do it in the fall, then they would have to change, because you can't make someone count that, if I were to take it, then what I would do in there would have to count.
That's what we need to find out. He said he didn't tell me that he thought you could start fresh in the fall.
Well, no, he said I could start in the fall, but he said that he wasn't aware of any amendments being changed to the agreed upon terms.
But since you've already taken that semester, how would they count it?
Yeah, I agree. I thought about that too. But I talked to him, and he's going to reach back out to him and say, like, hey, if he's willing to, to put off his aspirations for another length of time, we think it'd be we think it'd be good to go ahead and
Is he lying to his son too? This is crazy.
From zero.
I'm telling you, Buster, do a three-way and get Jim on the phone.
Quick note here. We've read the jail handbook several times. Three-way calls are against the rules. We will talk about that in another episode.
Why?
Just, I want to see if I'm crazy or that's what he told us.
Oh,
Jim's in a
God.
meeting. I can't. I was texting him. I wasn't doing anything else.
You see,
I swear that's what he told us.
They lying to each other, I think.
Yeah, he thinks Buster was going to start fresh. He keeps saying that. Start fresh. That means no conditions. He starts fresh in the fall as if nothing happened.
Right.
That's what he thinks the deal is. Oh, you're just going to start like that never happened. So you just repeating whatever year they kicked your ass out in. You just starting fresh from this point as if that year never happened.
Mm-hmm.
But he's angry because there's conditions.
And that's what it's supposed to be. But see, they don't think they're supposed to have to follow rules.
But that's not what he paid for. That's not what he paid for. He paid for his son to start fresh.
Wow.
Well, it costs more than $60,000 to get the fresh start.
Well, that's what he gave him. So he's like more or less saying, look, I paid you people. You didn't tell me nothing about conditions. But again, you paid that guy. There's 3 or 4 other guys that have to make this decision.
Mm-hmm.
That guy would say, look, I think we do need to reinstate him. Those guys were like, well, we need to bring it. If we're going to bring his dumb ass back, he got to do this, this, and this.
This is crazy.
Well, I mean, there's obviously just a lapse in communication, or maybe you assumed it. I don't know, which I think it's easy to assume now because...
No, man, I'm telling you. Because it made no sense to me. And I was like, I'm just telling you. That's what I'm telling you. All right, let me let you go. I'm going to try to call you back a little later. It sounds like you're busy. I just want... Well, I know how much I put on you. And
he busy. He said, no, I'm just at work. Like, dude, I'm at work. Lord have mercy.
And I just want whatever's best for you.
This is one of the few times Alec acknowledges an awareness of what Buster might be experiencing as his son. It seems to energize Buster because he begins to talk more about what he wants to do.
Well, I can go ahead and tell you that if the terms are changed and if...
Stop it.
You don't have to take an extra high GPA.
Yeah, and then I see myself probably going with that. But if the terms are not changed, then I'm going to do it now because there's no point.
I don't disagree with that. I think that's logical thinking.
Wait a minute. So there was already terms?
Apparently.
So there was already terms because they keep saying if terms haven't changed.
Yes, there was already terms. He had to complete. He had to keep the same GPA that he had before he was expelled, and he had to meet with the tutor and something else.
So they had already put terms on him before he got expelled.
Yeah, and they were trying to negotiate the terms being changed a couple of times. That's why he keeps telling him to write because they've been trying to push for the stuff to be changed. He said you want to get on it now and not wait till right before school starts to try to get this changed.
He mentioned extra high GPA.
Well, you got to go above and beyond.
There probably was some terms though, y'all, because he had already gotten in trouble.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. Now he said, did the terms change? Are they changed? So he had terms already for him to be there anyway.
Hell, he probably paid his way into that damn school. Buster just don't. But to me, honestly, the dude just need to tell his dad that he don't want to do it. He don't want to do it. I don't believe he want to do it. But we'll see. Here we go, y'all.
You can go there and do real good, but it's going to be hard for you to get a high GPA because, because
of how low the one is. I understand.
That's right. So even if you made 4.0s for 5 semesters, that's still the highest you could get out of 3.
Math is hard sometimes. But Alec continues.
You know, I'm just using that as an example.
Send them right now.
What?
Nothing. I'm listening.
All right. I can tell you're busy. I'll call you a little bit later. I love you. Is Butch gonna give you detailed options? But
hang on 1 minute. They're yeah, I mean he's got my cell now. I have his cell, and he said he'd be in communication with me whenever he hears anything.
But is he gonna reach out to them to find out?
Yeah, I told him. You know, well, what I told him is I told him what you said on the phone, and I was like, listen, I just got the phone with Dad. He said to get in touch with you. Dad said that he thought that Hubbard said that if I were to wait and go in the fall, then all of my, repercussions as far as GPA and everything would be amended, and I could start from scratch. And then he said, well, I don't really, he had a different understanding. But then I asked him, I was like, well, hey, can we go ahead and just ask him, say if I'm willing to lay off and come in the fall, can I start from scratch so that I don't have this GPA looming over my head?
Buster doesn't want to have to be under the stress. He don't want to have to be under the stress of making straight A's. He like, shit, can I be a C student? Because the terms he got is if he drops below an A or a B, he getting kicked out regardless. And he like, that's too much stress.
Yeah, Buster doesn't look like a 4.0 GPA kind of guy.
He just don't.
He knows damn well there is no possible way unless we start paying these professors. I'm getting an A in every class.
Mm-hmm.
And no college is going to ask somebody to keep a 4.0 GPA. So it can't be 4.0. It has to be like maybe 3.2, 3.4, whatever. Nobody asks anybody to keep a 4.0.
All right, y'all, we're going to do about 10 more minutes, then we're going to stop it. Oh, we're doing good. Okay.
Going on here, but after listening to this phone call several times, it sounds like Buster was getting back into law school, but not the way that he wanted. He wanted to be able to start fresh with a new GPA. And likely he failed all or most of his classes due to the alleged cheating scandal back in 2019. It sounds like Buster not only wants Butch Bowers, the powerful attorney, to get him back in, he wants Butch to get him back in with a clean slate. We're pointing this out because it seems lost on them that he should feel so lucky just to get back into school.
Exactly.
In the next call from December 5th, Buster and Alec are even more explicit about the stipulations from the school and how Dean Hubbard seemed willing to change them for him. This is the call where Buster mentions the firm and the need to have a high GPA if he isn't going to work there.
I spoke to Butch a couple times on Friday, and he was supposed to be getting in touch with Hubbard. He had gotten in touch with Hubbard, and Hubbard seems to, he just apparently Hubbard had to run it by like admissions and all this other stuff I guess to be able to set the record clean or whatever, but I haven't. Butch is probably going to call me this week, I would assume.
So did Butch think that they were going to do that? That Hubbard sounded willing to do that?
Yeah, Butch seems so. Butch said that he was, he said that he's cautiously optimistic.
About taking the restrictions off of you of making a 2.55.
Yeah, correct.
Now, if they do that,
it seems like they have to because they can't offer me to come back in the fall. And then I do everything in the fall, and they're like, well...
Did you hear him say 2.55? So that's the GPA he had to keep.
That's like a C.
That's right. It's a C.
2.55 is like a high C.
It's a high C.
That's what he was probably maintaining, and that's why they made his ass jump to a 3 something.
Because he
has to maintain a 2.5, and he's scared he's gonna drop below a 2.55.
Damn.
That's what he has to maintain, a 2.55.
That's nothing. I ain't gonna say it's nothing, but that's.
But that's not Alex. Alex said, didn't Alex
Skip it back.
The 2.55. He said, well, why can't you maintain the 2.55? I guess that was the original agreement. I don't know many law schools that allow you to have a 2.5 GPA. Most law schools are not.
Dude, it's South Carolina. It's not like a prestigious law school, dude. Everybody does not graduate with.
I don't want my lawyer with a 2.55.
I mean, Todd father daughter had about a 2.55, and she still managed to do international law.
International law, top 5 partner. Yeah,
Yeah,
2.55.
a 2.55. Now, actually, if you think a 2.55
It's a high
is a
C.
high C close to a B. All right.
Yeah. I think it's like a 78 or something like that, or 77, 78.
It's just a damn C because the highest you could get is 4.0.
Yeah.
It's a C.
3 is
it's
B.
not really. It's not even a C plus. It's just a C.
Well,
damn.
Yeah, but because a 4.0 is A plus, right? It's it's an A plus, and then 3 is a B, and then 3.5 is a B plus, or maybe an A. 3.5 is, I think,
no, 3.5 is a high B.
A high B. I don't. Trust me. My lawyer is not gonna have a 2.55.
I don't want no lawyer with no 2.55.
You would be shocked what these lawyers' GPAs are. And nobody ever asked, yo, what was your GPA in college? You don't ask that.
I can go look.
And how you gonna go look if they graduated from law school 40 years ago?
No, that's still available.
It's available.
It's available. So you'd be surprised what's available. Because 40 years ago is when they started writing all this shit down, putting it in computers. So, but again, 2.55, I think that's what they're shooting for. That's what they want the college to agree to, that he must keep 2.55 or higher. I think
and that's that. I mean, if he focused, that shouldn't be hard at all. I'm sorry, but you got to remember the boy was plagiarizing. So I don't know. All right, y'all. A few more minutes.
You gonna make a 3-2, and they say, "Well, you still got this." That doesn't make sense either. Now, if they offer you that, Buster, to start fresh, do you think that's the thing to do?
I do think that's the thing to do.
I definitely think it's the thing to do.
Given the scenario, me not knowing if I'm going to go back and work for the law firm, my grades need to be as high as possible so that if I want a different job, I can get one.
No doubt. And that'll allow you to do that. Don't make up your mind till you know all the details, but I think that's a good thing.
We know some of these calls might sound a little repetitive, but we want to share as much as we can of these calls with you so you can get the full picture of our reporting. Generally speaking, the conclusions we are drawing are based on more than what we can pack into these episodes. But when it comes to these phone calls, you can hear Alec and Buster in their own words, repeating the same language over and over. And we think it's really important for you to listen and decide for yourself. For the next few days, Alec continues to check in with Buster. On December 9th.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm okay. Did you hear from Butch?
No, I texted them today. And
yeah, these are
repetitive.
She's been very repetitive. Okay. We done already heard this.
Good deal.
On December 12th.
Hey, did you ever hear anything from Butch?
I spoke to him last week and he said he hadn't heard from Hubbard. And he said, I'm supposed to hear from him this week.
Okay. All right.
On December 14th.
Have you heard from Butch?
No, I sent Butch a text message today and I haven't heard from him, but tomorrow I'll probably start, kind of bothering him more. I try not to bother him too much.
On December 22nd, Buster starts to get a little indignant about the situation. Now, we want to mention here that we're not entirely sure who is dropping the ball here. Is it Butch? Is it Hubbard? Does the law school not want the bad press if they readmit Buster? Or is it Buster? And if it is Buster, does this mean he has simply been appeasing Alec this whole time and isn't actually interested in going back to law school?
Everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Have you talked back to Butch?
Yeah, I talked to Butch on Monday, and he said that he's, working to get in touch with Hubbard.
I mean, shit. You're 2 weeks out.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to, I told Butch, I was like, well, look, man, it's not like exactly I can be told on the 31st that I go to school on the 5th. And he's like, I understand. He seems to think due to the delay that the
situation is going to work out.
Yeah, because I'll just tell him, look, man, you fucked this all up. I can't come to school with 4 days' notice.
I know, but You can't tell him quiet like that.
Well, I mean, you can't tell him. I understand you need to be on the good side, but push comes to shove, I've got a letter that says I've been accepted, and they don't want that PR going out there. I mean, I got valid, hard copy proof.
Yeah, I know. And there was something. I will tell you this. I think Butch is good at. I think he's as good as anybody at this.
So we don't know what he's saying about valid hard copy proof, or they don't want that PR going out there. But it seems important in figuring out what is going on here with Buster. And what exactly is Butch good at? And why won't he just say it? The next day, Buster finally snaps back at Alec.
Buster, have you talked to Butch?
No, I haven't been able to.
He hasn't responded to you?
No.
All right, you need to send him a text that said, "Hey, Butch, getting into a pinch here. Do you think we can find out something today? Classes are supposed to start on the, something along those lines. Are you comfortable doing that or not?"
Yeah.
All right, well, you need to hang up and do that so he has time to call you back today being a Friday. I mean, Monday is third. And classes start when?
I agree, son. I agree.
You need to send him a text today telling him that.
I mean, I'd be remiss to say that I'm pretty sure he knows.
Well, I mean, Buster, baby, I'm not trying to put pressure on you, but you can't. I mean, you got to take a little bit more of a assertive thing and put a little bit of, polite pressure.
Don't assume what I do. You got no idea how many times or whatnot that I've taken to get in touch.
I don't mean to say that. I'm just saying he's coming up Wednesday. I mean, have you been putting pressure on him?
I mean, define pressure. I've been trying to get in touch with him.
You've been asking.
I'm yelling at him, saying like, "Hey, man, if you don't respond, I'm gonna be pissed."
No, I mean, I definitely wouldn't say that. But I would text him if you haven't. If you say, "Look, classes start on the 5th," or "Hey, Butch, just following up again." That way you say, "Just following up again. Classes start on the 5th, getting in a real pinch. Could you please give me a call?"
On December 29th, Alec gives Buster one of his fatherly don't be bashful talks, and he again talks about how much Butch has been paid to do this for them, whatever this is. Are they paying Butch to be his official law school readmission advocate? Or is the money just to make phone calls to the special connected people at the top? Or is it something else altogether? Again, these calls are showing us that Alex still thinks he has enough power to work the system in his favor, even from jail.
Have you heard from Butch?
No, I'm sending a text. I've been telling you to do that.
You need to call him. You need to call him and bug him.
Well, I can't exactly bug him because, he ain't got nothing for him. I can't give him anything.
No, Buster, he's already been paid to do this.
Yeah, well, this wasn't really part of it.
Sure it was.
It looks like Butch took the money and ran. I'm just saying. Can somebody tell Alec that?
Or
Butch didn't take the money and run. No, bruh is lying. He ain't been reaching out to that man.
I think Butch is trying and nobody's responding.
Oh my goodness, this is getting to be
because there's a reason why he keeps saying we got to do this now. Maybe somebody's changing on the board. Maybe one of the people is not as favorable as they were before. But he paid Butch to do this, and Butch is hitting dead ends, and he don't want to say it to Buster because then Buster's going to tell Alex. And Alex is gonna want his money back.
Do you think Buster is reaching out to Butch like he say he is?
I don't think he's pestering him. I think he's text messaging him enough to tell his father, I'm text messaging him. And I don't know if Alex has contact with Butch.
Right. No, apparently not, because I feel like if Alex had contact, he would have been in contact with him by now. Because
he don't have contact, because remember when he was talking to the other guy on the phone, he mentioned Butch. He said reach out to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well
John Marvin.
He does do 3 ways, so basically he could, Three-way me to Butch right now.
And that's the thing. Why won't he do a three-way to get in touch with Butch?
I was about to say that if he talked to Butch on three-way call, they would have it recorded.
Yeah. So
oh shit.
Basically, I don't think Alex wants to strong arm Butch. He wants Butch to do this as a favor. I'm paying you, but please do this. And I don't think he wants to alienate Butch.
This is too much. This is just too much. Okay, y'all. Oh, Lord have mercy.
This is absolutely, he's been paid for this. You don't worry about this. He's been paid very well for all of this. I mean, this is part of it. And, you know, until they tell you they're going to let you come in the fall, you need to be planning on starting. When do they start? Huh? I mean, I hate to say it, but you need to be planning on starting.
See, that's what I was saying. That you should be packed and ready to go as if they said yes.
He just assumed they're gonna say yeah, but ain't nobody getting back in touch with him. That don't make sense.
Still, he should be packed and ready to go to move into the dorm, like they already said yes.
He's already been accepted in. He's just been accepted in with terms, and they're trying to get the terms taken off, but he's already been accepted. That's why he said, well, I already got an acceptance letter, so they don't want that to hit the press. They're trying to get the terms changed, but he's already been accepted back in.
Yeah, he has.
So he doesn't want to go with those terms.
And that's the thing about them.
Yeah,
like
don't want to.
It's like everything got to be their way. You know what I'm saying? Like they feel like. I guess I feel like they feel like they entitled. I don't know.
Well, they do pay people.
Yeah, they do.
So he should know that. Hubbard should know that. This is bullshit.
I don't know that they care. Try to call Butch tomorrow. Don't be bashful about it.
Well, I mean, honestly, if it goes back, I mean, I'm just going to tell him, like, look, I got to start the fall. I'll start the fall and have the penalties confused because, I mean, I'm in their middle place to do it. I mean, I haven't thought about it once.
I mean, I definitely understand.
I mean, this is fucked up.
You know, the more pressure, the longer they wait, and you aren't ready, then, you know, then it's easy for them not to do it. So you need to at least act like you're ready. When you tell Butch, you know, hey man, I got to be finishing. I got to be getting ready for this. I need to know. You need to put a little bit of a very nice pressure on him tomorrow. Do you want me to get Jim to call him?
The nice pressure. An interesting term to describe influence and manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we notice Jim Griffin is mentioned a lot when it comes to getting Buster back into law school. I have to wonder if Alec is paying Jim for that work too with the money he allegedly doesn't have.
Oh,
but
wow.
anyways, we'll talk about that more in another episode. Then, on December 31st, Alec delivers the bad news to Buster.
Uh-oh.
He was supposed to give you a call. You sure you don't have a missed call?
Yeah, but I mean, I ain't got my service out here.
Oh, you're back at Chief Jesse? Well, you need to try to call him. But he said that Hubbard's been out of the country. Just got back. He just talked to him. And that they have met and that they have decided that they're going to delay your admission.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure I'm not sure what they can do that, but I'm not sure what we can do about it. You know, I mean, if you fight it and win, they say it's not in your best interest to start law school.
Oh, wow.
Then won't they? Then it's unfair for you to start in the fall.
So here, Buster said that he didn't want to go to law school in the spring, which makes that Butch payment an even bigger mystery.
So they're delaying you to the spring next year. But, I mean, this just got sprung on Butch and Jim and trying to figure out what we can do to get you started in the fall.
All right.
So you weren't planning on starting in the spring anyway?
I didn't want to.
All right, well, try to call Butch. He can give you a few more details.
Will you please stop telling that boy to call Butch?
I mean, Buster, I don't even know what to say, man. I'm just sorry. But they seem to think that they can negotiate you starting in the fall, but maybe as an audit or something like that, just to get you back in the swing of things.
Helen.
I'm here.
Dad, you shouldn't feel sorry though. Your son fucked up. See, like he's he's trying to fix his son's mistakes, and he's feeling sorry that he can't do more. But you shouldn't, because you didn't cheat.
So,
See, he getting me like he got the
you
journalist,
rather
because
talk
he
about this?
still does shit that make you be like, dang, bro, you do care about your family. And then you realize he killed his family, so then there's that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not around?
No, I mean, it's fine.
I just don't know what, I mean, I don't know how they revoke an admission. But here's the thing. Do you want to pressure them for you to start this spring?
You can't pressure them people. You know what? I'm finna end it because I'm getting irritated. They get on my nerves. You can't. Why won't they?
Days,
Nah.
without a doubt.
Yes.
Because I think Mike can do that. Now, I'm not sure that's in your best interest, because if you force them to let you come down.
I'm not mentally,
How you
not
gonna
mentally
force it?
prepared. I'm not ready to go now. They fucked all that up for me.
What now? What'd you say?
I said,
Buff?
Helen. Yeah.
Hey.
What?
What'd you say?
I said, now I'm not mentally prepared for that, and they've messed that all up now. I don't want to do that anymore. Helen.
I'm here. I know you're frustrated, and I mean, I feel like it's all my fault.
Oh God.
I know it's my fault.
Did he
Alex
tell him to
Murdoch
cheat?
saying he feels like this is his.
Huh?
Did he tell him to cheat? He
I
said,
don't-
"Son, I need you to plagiarize as much as you can.
Well, I
Don't worry,
I
they
don't
won't
know.
catch you. Yeah,
Hell, he probably was paying for the damn papers. Come on now.
go to this fat girl. She'll write all your papers. I've already paid her."
Oh God.
It's like,
Yeah, I'm literally about to end this. Like, I'm literally getting frustrated. Like this, my whole situation. I don't even understand it.
All I,
His
all I got to say is, Buster, what it is right now.
Oh God.
fault is like a Category 5 hurricane returning to the island it just destroyed for some reassurance that we don't hate it. Buster, however, redeems himself slightly here.
No, not entirely. I share some blame in this.
No, I mean, I'll let you go. Go try to have a good weekend.
That's fine. I'll get in touch with him after the week.
He's going to call you, so try to look for a call.
All right.
go have a good
All right,
weekend.
I love you.
You failure.
What?
Go have a good weekend. You failure.
Ah,
You know,
no.
I didn't give you the right person to cheat, son. I'm sorry. The person I paid to write those papers plagiarized.
Oh God.
Okay,
You know,
bye.
Sorry.
that puts you in a hard place, don't
After
it?
this call, Alex
Okay, we're gonna end it right there. That's the end of the phone call. I'm gonna end it right there because I cannot. I can't.
Doesn't that put you in a hard place when you pay for a paper and the person you paid to write the paper plagiarized? It's not that you say, "Hey, I paid
Yeah,
him to
but
write
it's
this
like they
paper."
not. Listen, listen, Linda, listen. These people are literally sitting up here acting like it's other people's fault that they're in this predicament, and it's not. It is Buster's fault. Buster shouldn't have cheated. And now you want to, then you got Alex, the narcissist is up there. I can't. Why am I so irritated with these people?
Son, I should have taught you better how to cheat.
Yeah, you should have taught his ass not to cheat, damn it. But
No,
you've been
I
teaching
should
him
have
to cheat
taught
all
you
your life.
better. I should have taught you better how to cheat.
Nah.
I clearly did not show you good enough. I clearly didn't give you the right cheating tools.
Oh God.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. It's better to cheat than repeat.
Well, I mean, he's been teaching basically Buster to do that because that's what he's been doing his whole life. Paying people off, cheating and robbing and stealing and killing and shit. It's ridiculous. And you wonder why he cheated. He been watching you cheat.
That's what I'm saying. Son, I clearly didn't teach you all my cheating skills.
Oh, he ain't wondering why he cheated. He not mad at him for cheating. He understand why he did it.
Yeah, he more mad at Butch because Butch ain't come through than he is at Buster for cheating and getting in the situation. What the hell is going on here? Okay, y'all, that's it for today, Lord Jesus. We'll finish tomorrow. Thank you, Trey and D True. Y'all get on my nerve. And D True don't make shit no better. I swear to God, you don't. Okay, y'all. Who dropped off? Trey?
Trey done ran already.
Yeah, he gotta go. He gotta go live. Yeah,
Trey's,
I already made him late.
Trey's getting his ass
It
trained.
was getting good though. It's getting good.
Yeah, I mean, how do you say I'm sorry, son? Sorry, I failed you, son. I failed you because you got caught.
Yes.
I paid the wrong person, son. I'm sorry.
I should have paid the somebody else. I chose the wrong person to pay off. Okay.
I paid the wrong person, son, and you got caught. It's all my fault.
Jeez. All right, y'all. We gotta go. Y'all, somebody drop, if it's a mine still in here, drop Trey's link. I'm sure everybody got it. Listen, all hers you get on. Hey, Randall. Hey. Okay, y'all, we finna go. It's about don't laugh. It ain't funny. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for supporting these lives. I do. Thank you for supporting the hashtag content that matters. Shout out to D Truth. Shout out to Trey. Thank y'all so much for hitting the link. I appreciate it so much. Listen, y'all have a blessed, beautiful day. Y'all be safe, be blessed, never stress. I'll see y'all later on today. On my other channel, I think. But yeah. So that being said, we're gonna get out here. D Truth, you got any last words? Cause my nerves bad now.
Try harder at cheating.
Oh God. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. See you later, MK. I see y'all later in these creeks. We heading over the trail, y'all. Y'all be good. See y'all later.